Yes, everybody should. Everybody should just live here. All right, guys. Everybody ready to start Cecil? And you can name him whatever you would like. The canvas was actually not named, it was just a number. And he struck me as a Cecil, so feel free to call him whatever you want. And I let Cam know at Ditto that that's what I was gonna name him, and she was like, works for me. So it is not the official name. Okay, so my name is Susan Winter. I used to own a needlework shop in Somerville, South Carolina called Fire Poppies. I was primarily cross. That's me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
I
me.
went there.
That was me. We were primarily cross stitch because that's what I learned to do about 38 years ago, and was starting to incorporate some more needlepoint. We had a lot of the same supplies, but as far as canvases goes. And I actually started needlepoint about 2.5 years ago. So while I'm newer to the needlepoint game, I've been doing the active stitching for 38 years. And so, yeah, it was just seems like that was kind of a natural progression. What I like about needlepoint, people in the book go, if you cross stitch, I don't know how you count. Well, you guys count all the time. Don't you always have to count. It was like, I'm still counting. But cross stitch says, okay, here's the chart, here's the fabric, here's the floss, and you can change that all day long. There is all that wiggle room there, but it's very little specialty stitches. What I liked about painted canvas is this pushed me creatively. It's not somebody telling me what I have to do. And I'm a recipe follower. There are thrower inners and there's recipe followers. And I was always this recipe follower. So I learned to get really comfortable, especially having help other folks figure out if they didn't like that color, what color to choose, or if they wanted a lighter background fabric. So now it was daytime instead of night, what have you. So this pushed me to, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this come alive? It's not, I don't want it to be just half stitches or 10 stitch, or I could just stay with cross stitch and be less expensive. So every canvas I've done so far is really, it's an experiment for me. I want to figure out what can I do to this that I didn't do to the last one? What can I learn from this new canvas? How can I kind of push my comfort boundaries? So this was my first 13 mesh canvas that I had done. It went incredibly quickly. I think I spent about 40 hours because I tend to track my time because people are always saying, well, how much time did this take you? Right. So I just found a little timer app and I wasn't like, I'm stopping because I have to go to the bathroom now. No, I went to the bathroom, came back. So I could kind of give that answer because I might put it away for 3 years and never touch it again. So this took about 40 hours. And I wanted an open background because I wanted to see kind of that paint. I didn't want to have to fill it all in. And I like full coverage and cross stitch, but I didn't have to do it here. So there are some lessons I learned, and we'll talk about that briefly as we go through the canvas, but I will kind of point them out now. From the cross stitch world, if you bead all the way up to the edge, it is not a problem because everything's pretty stretchy. And so the framer can get right up to the edge of the design and it's not a problem with the beads. So it never dawned on me that that might be a problem in needlepoint. And I wasn't used to having to put borders on and all that kind of stuff. So I put beads all the way along the edge. And so when she framed it, she ended up having to come up a little bit so she didn't cover those beads up. So in hindsight, I probably would have put a gray border, just a few stitches to kind of give that some wiggle room. Or maybe just expand or put something else to just kind of give it, because it's just a partial anyway. And may have done something different there. So just those are the kind of things we'll kind of talk about. I'm also a big fan. I mean, I have frogged more in needlepoint than I have done in 38 years of cross stitching. Just from going, well, that didn't work really well. So some things I was like, oh, that it works, but I would do this differently next time. But for the most part, I was very happy how this canvas came out. And again, he was kind of easy. All right, so when we go through and we have some folks on Zoom, like she talked about, so I may turn and talk to you guys sometimes, and I'm not trying to not ignore you. I'll try and stand here, and then when I have to walk around, I will. We're gonna go through the canvas in the order that I ended up stitching it. And some of the reasons I did things in certain orders is because I didn't want the threads to come when I was going up next to the his body with the background stitch. I didn't want to do the background first because I didn't want it to be pulled up one way when I wanted the background stitch to help tuck down his body, the edges of his body, okay? So those were my thoughts as I went through it, because I learned in cross stitch when you have a one little color here and there, if you do that first and then you do stuff around it, it pulls it in and it almost sinks it in. So I was trying to be cognizant of when I did something, what effect was that going to have on the way the thread laid? Okay. And please stop me when you have a question about something. Don't wait till the end. All right. What I'd like to do now is let's go through your supplies and make sure everything's there. The ladies do a fantastic job of this. And Anne, if you'll open this up, there's a substitution list that has occurred because as in anything, there are supply issues at times. So I don't have that list, so I'm going to use yours for a minute and pull out your stitch guide, and we're going to go through the supply list here. And it's probably, yours is double-sided, mine is not. So it's probably the second or third page. Let me know when everybody's ready. Zoom guys, if you've got it muted, just thumb me up or something so I know you're good. Perfect. All right.
Which page are we going to?
The supply list.
Oh.
So that's the substitute. So keep going on your page. There you go, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So I just want to make sure if we don't have something, we can grab it now. Okay, so you should. All right. So you should have in the silk lame. I'm not sure what order everything is in your packet, but let's look at the silk lames. There should be a black in the Rainbow Gallery. And there should be a white. There should be 4 cards of white. Now in the original, I did the silk lame, just the regular. Here, they had trouble getting it, so we went with the silk lame ribbon, right? What I did, just to make sure it wasn't going to mess anything up, is I stitched with the silk lame and then I stitched with the silk lame ribbon because I didn't want the effect to be drastic, and it's not. I couldn't tell you, I know where the difference is, but nobody else could say, oh, that's just traditional silk lame and that's the silk lame ribbon. So everything is copacetic there.
Ribbon, and I've got fluff and braid.
That's the plus. Yes, that is actually a ribbon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Because I didn't think about that either. So it is the plus. The plus is your ribbon. Here's your full one. Yes, okay, and your black. All right, and then we should have
I don't think I have silk lame braid.
yeah, it is the
I did.
perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, do not worry.
I had one of these, they were great.
Yeah, I tell you, they live everywhere.
It is. All right, and then we should have a red orange in the silk lame. Right.
Mine's is visiting for candy.
Please do.
Sorry.
Which is the red orange, it's a SL115. So that's that.
That's not silk lame plus though. That's just silk lame braid.
Let's look at the petite silk lame, which is the SP numbers.
My SP is 77 for the blue instead of 14.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes. So we should have a blue. There will be an eggshell, which for you is the 193. Or excuse me, 33. SL 33.
Can you show me what the blue looks like?
I don't want to mess it all up.
Down 33 is what color?
I
It's
don't
an
think she can hear us. Can you
Oh.
hear me, Cindy?
I can hear you, because I don't know if I have
I don't think,
SP 14 or the SP 77. It says blue. I don't have anything blue.
O2 and O2.
I don't show,
Look at just the, see right there.
what was we got a thing of Substitutions, where's that?
Yeah, and it says SP 77 is supposed to be the substitution for the blue, but I don't think I have that.
I don't have it either.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Where's the substitution?
Oh, I can look in my,
Nope. So let me go. Anybody else missing? No.
And she said we were supposed to have cyclamen plus for the red orange and we only have cyclamen braid.
oh.
Do you have
I had the number they're called for, SL
SL
115.
115? Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too, but she said cyclamen plus on that one.
Oh,
'Cause
well,
the other
maybe-
two are cyclamen plus.
I don't know. I think that's fine. I just don't have the blue, that's all.
This is some for the SP.
33,
Oh, I'm sorry.
SP 33.
SP 61. I don't have SP 48. 81. Oh, it's SP 48. Okay, got that one.
SP 48, I have that.
Yep.
61. 48. 175. Yes. Oh, I have SP 145. Yeah, and it says,
It says one.
it says it's supposed to be 175, but I have the 145.
SL 193.
Yep, I have that 145 too.
Yes, I'll close it out.
I have SL 193.
But I don't see that we have the blue.
No.
Oh, wait a minute, we do. Go
We
to,
do?
S-
it look like?
it's the it's the petite. It's
Oh,
SP petite.
I don't
Do you
have
the-
it.
Do you have the petite one?
I
like
don't
this?
have any. No, I don't have that. I'll look in my stash, see if I can find it.
Okay.
I don't have that.
These were ordered back in August. Wow.
So we have all the cyclamen, except
Yeah.
you have to tell them the odds, and we have to just make sure she knows that about the braid.
Yeah, I'm missing that.
So you guys have those, the 193s? Okay, all right, then we're good.
I'm missing the blue,
Alright.
but.
SP 61 is the sand gold.
Anyways, look at those.
So it's this darker gold.
Can Cindy see
cotton
what you're
deals.
Oh, I'm sorry, darker gold.
Do you want us to turn Cindy sideways?
And there's somebody else there.
Okay.
Oh, I don't
What's-
have I don't have the blue one, so I'll have to look in my stash, see if I can find something.
Blue, the SP 14.
Yeah, or the SP 77 was a substitution, but I don't have either of those.
Okay,
So I'll have to look and see if I'll find something in my stash, I guess.
Look them up.
sure.
So that's petite cyclamen, right? On that one, the SP 14
Yes, ma'am.
and the SL 115, is that supposed to be cyclamen plus or just cyclamen?
It's just the,
Cyclamen.
yeah, it's just the cyclamen for the 18 count.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
All right, awesome. And then there should be an SP 48. Okay,
We raised you guys up so you can see better what she's
Thank you.
doing.
Yep. And then we have the SP 175. Was a sub for the 145. Which is the fool's gold.
Here's 145.
Okay, 145, so we've got this one. Okay, awesome. All right, so, and then you should have two neon rays, an orange and a pink. And that's already done. Good to go, ladies over there in Zoom?
What is
Yep.
the orange?
Thank you.
That is kind of this tangerine.
I don't see mine either. I don't
I
have
don't see
that.
mine here.
So do you have a little, yes, do you have a little bag?
I have this. Is
Yes,
this
there
it?
it is.
Okay,
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Yes.
it.
Rainbow Gallery.
Oh,
Okay. All right, and then, all right, so that should be all the Rainbow Gallery. There should be a kind of this goldish color pearl DMC.
I don't have that.
I don't have it either. No.
So they don't have theirs.
You what?
The two ladies there don't have the DMC pearl cotton.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I don't think I have it either.
This one is the one you're missing.
There's, for padding, so let me just pull.
She's gonna go
Can you
get-
show me what that pearl cotton looks like? Then I can later look and see if I can find something.
Yeah.
Kinda
It sounds like
can't
we had
remember.
some folks join
Okay.
class late and they,
Okay.
so
Okay.
we'll they'll make sure they get the supplies to you.
Goldish brown.
All right, let's look at, we're gonna look at the Threadworks. We're looking at these two right here. Okay, everybody's got
Anybody
the
else need
Threadwork?
pearl cotton?
No, okay,
Do they need pearl cotton online?
They do, yes.
Cindy?
We do.
Cindy and who?
all right, these are the two, Threadwork.
Deb Gaff
cotton.
and Cindy.
Yeah, I have those.
Okay, and
Yep,
then
we
we've
have
got
those.
two Threadworks that are the.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Hi, Andrea. We don't have that.
Okay.
Or I don't have the blue
Okay.
silk lame
Okay.
either.
What?
No, I have it all right here. Everything, I have them.
Okay,
Yep, we
Good.
have that.
all right. And then the Aversois is the planet Earth.
Right, got that.
Okay, should have two of those.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, good. And then the Gloriana is being,
Is this the blue gibbon or something like that?
that's being subbed, it's on your
Being
sub
subbed.
goes, yeah.
So I ignore the 5.
Yes,
Yes,
because
thank
it's the same amount,
Perfect.
because they give larger skates.
Yeah, the obvious
Okay,
5
thank you.
yards and the planet Earth is
1263.
more, so we did the math and you should have plenty of
Yes.
that.
plenty of-
Yes,
So that's 2 of these.
Yes,
the
yeah.
2 planet Earth blues.
and
So-
then, yeah, I'll let you chat with them.
Go ahead.
The Weeks dye works, you should have a skein of that. That's
Yep.
being substituted for the Gloriana silk. Gloriana is very difficult to get anything from, so this was the same color. All right, everybody got the Weeks?
Yep.
Yep.
You got Weeks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and then we've got our beads. There will be a gold bugle and a
Gold bugle.
gold seed bead,
Gold silk.
correct?
Yep.
Okay, good. Then we've got a blue seed bead.
Mhm.
This, and we have a silver seed bead.
Yep.
Perfect. And then there's some. Yes, and then we have his eyes. Where did they go? Oh, thank you. You should have 2 eyes, which they're little lava beads,
Right.
and then 3 of the coin style, which are his mouth.
Yep.
Perfect. All right,
Okay.
and
So,
then there is, sorry, beading filament. I honestly.
hey, Cindy, what are you missing?
Oh, I was missing the SP 14, or else it was supposed to be substituted SP 77,
Running through the gold beads. That's
and
where
then
you-
the pearl cotton number 5.
Okay, and that's all you're missing?
Yeah.
Okay,
think-
I'll pop those in. Deb, what, are you missing anything or just? the
Yeah.
pearl?
I'm just missing the pearl cotton number 5.
Perfect, yeah.
I'm
And you
not sure
have
what,
some-
I
you have
don't know
some
what the,
So let's-
Pearl in
by-
your stash.
I don't know.
I may have it in stash.
I'm gonna look in my stuff and see if I can
You're
find
gonna
something.
look at his body first.
Okay, and
I'll look at lunchtime.
Got the
I'll get,
silver.
those popped in the mail.
Oh,
Okay.
there's no rush. Just
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Okay.
I
Okay,
think we're good.
we're good.
All right. This is for you. And
So were we supposed to get the cabochon stone?
I don't know what that is.
Are we
Oh,
supposed to have the,
the stone I was unable to find. I'm gonna tell you guys, there's one on Etsy.
There's eyes and that's his 3 for his mouth.
Whoever
is it
gets
for?
First.
What is it? What is it for?
So we're
his
gonna-
scarf?
All right, so the cabochon, which is the last item on.
I
the
couldn't
list.
get 12 of them
All right. And this,
in the right size.
all right, so I have one.
What's it look
Because
like?
I purchased 2 different ones, because these are just actual stones. I got them off Etsy, they were like $3. If any of you were interested, I will put your name in a little roulette wheel in my app. And I will spin the app and whoever's name comes up gets it.
Can we see what it looks like?
Yes, it's a decision maker. You can use it for anything. What do we have for dinner tonight? What are we doing?
For the vacation draw.
So this is the one I have.
Okay. So it's a decoration.
It's here.
I'm sorry, Cindy, can't hear you.
It goes on, it goes on the
Hey, guys,
scarf.
Hold on.
Okay. Goes
See
in
that,
that little
Cindy?
square thing.
It goes on the square thing on the scarf.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Fine,
sorry.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they're, you know, because these are natural stones, there's no two that are alike.
right.
And so I put on your supply list where on Etsy I got mine from. And if you like to pad, you can do padding. If you want to make it flat, you can make it flat. This was really just a very personal choice. We're going to talk tomorrow about how to attach this because it will be the very last thing that you do. And it is not hard, but
So it really could be anything sentimental to you too.
Yes.
She
It
would
could,
want-
you could,
yeah.
and you could
Yes.
actually, you could use a button.
Button, I was
You
just
could
gonna say.
use,
Yeah.
Oh, a
Yes,
button.
yes,
That
exactly.
might be cute.
yeah,
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really just the dimensions that you have to be aware of.
Right.
So, okay, perfect. And we've got needles, everybody's got their search bars. Okay, I think we're in good shape there.
okay, you too good. I'm
Thank
going
you.
that way.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, Andrea.
Thanks for your help.
My goal today is to get us through parts of his body, obviously we're not completing it all day, but his body, his hat, basically this, not his nose, not the scarf piece, and not the beading. And then tomorrow do background and his and the nose and the more intricate pieces. Okay. All right. You guys good to go so far?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So let us start with his. We're going to start with the petite silk or with the Silk Lame Plus. Okay. I told myself when I started needlepoint, I was going to use a laying tool all the time because I was going to start out with a habit. I was not going to allow myself to not break. I don't use it in cross stitch. I'm not going to spend that kind of time. But because there's so many extra threads, in cross stitch, you use two, maybe one strand of fluff. Here, you know, it just helps to lay things more flat. If you don't use one, that's okay. If somebody's not sure what it is, this is a laying tool, right? It just has a nice sharp point to it. And it just allows you to pull the threads over. You can use an extra needle, just as long as you have something that kind of help, you can use your finger. And again, this is a fun canvas, so don't stress about it. The colors are matched pretty well. So if a little shows through, again, no needlepoint police. No needlepoint police.
Yes, I know.
This, and these are my only kind of plugs. I like these because I can put them in the corners. They hold on with one of the tacks. It goes in the inside corner of your frame and it keeps it square. So if you're like, I don't know if I have this square, you put it together, pop one in, tighten it up, and it keeps all four corners of your corner square. And she carries these. Last, and I'm not sure if you guys have seen these. These are the frame locks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Questions or concerns before we get started? Yeah. And quick, and I'm not going to remember them right away. And so just I reserve the right to ask you 50 times. Let's give me names, yeah, because I didn't bring any little table tents.
Maggie.
Linda,
Brenda,
Marion.
Vicky.
okay. Pam and Ann, I'm gonna, because I've zoomed with you.
Uh-oh.
And then Cindy
Mhm.
and Deb. You have name tags. This is great.
Yeah,
we do. All right. So there's a lot of different options you could use for snow. I just went online and looked through all my gazillion books to see what I thought I might want to use. And so this is really just an alternating combination of a Smyrna cross and a mosaic stitch. Is there anyone who has not done either of those stitches before? Okay, which one have you not done?
None.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Quick go around. How long has everybody been needlepointing?
For me, doing all of this, probably 8 months.
Okay,
Couple of years.
okay,
I'm a legal appointment, but not consistently.
okay,
I've done it for a long,
okay,
Several years.
several years, but
Okay.
not.
right, yeah, we talked about it. Okay, not a problem. So what I'd like to have everybody notice, and I'm gonna use your canvas for a second so I can show them on Zoom, and I'm gonna swap it over. When I get to that point, is compensation. And I used to really stress out about compensation because it was one of those things if I thought I had to do it right as I did it and try and figure out what the pattern was and what. And I went to a class, an A&G class up in the not this year's seminar, but last year, because I wanted to see what that was about when it was in Atlanta. And the most brilliant words came out of that teacher's mouth. She said, do the main pattern, then go back and do the compensation afterwards. I was like, oh, okay, I thought it was a rule, no rules. So if you're like, no, this is easy, I want to do the compensation as I go, great. But there's a lot of curves in here. You can do it later. So what I'd like to do, what I figured out, because I didn't want to have to do a ton of compensation on the first line, is if you notice in your stitch guide, it says this row is your compensation row. All right. And what that means is, and I'll come around and point it out, we aren't going to start there. We're going to drop down enough to make that first mosaic start lower. So that when we go across, we're just doing a little fill in right there and it's not funky. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. And I figured that out because I had to tear it out to make it make more sense later. I was like, oh. All right. So and one of the things in needlepoint that I think makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't always work well when I need it to, is you want to start an empty hole and go into one that's already filled, right? So you're not pulling up on the stitches, but when you start bringing things together, that doesn't always work as well. So, but do it when you can. So if you look at your guide, it says, okay, we're going to start with mosaic first, and we're going to go from 1 to 2 and go up and then back here and there and back here and there. So, and I'll demonstrate if anybody needs me to, and I'll do it on here. So what you're going to do, because we're not going to do this row, if we're starting mosaic, it is 1, 2, 3 holes down, right? So I'm going to come down, would be that part of mosaic, and that would be that. And so we're really coming down. So we're really going to start 2, 3, about 4 holes from the top of the white. So give me a second. This is your needle. No, this is my needle. Yes, because the mosaic is not going to show up right there. That's right. That's it to this point. Yeah, I just cut it off. Yeah, so if this is your pink right here, right? And then count 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're gonna have this. Yep.
Start with 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you can go over to the side where you're like, okay, I can get a full one right about there. Yeah, can you get a full one? Do that, because the rest of it's gonna be a little compensation, right? And again, no police. If you want to start in the middle of the row.
So I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna probably
Me
start
too.
over here.
We're both left-handed.
Perfect, thank you, because I have.
It was an accident, so
Yeah.
it works out fine.
Good, good, good.
So can I start like, stay over here?
Yeah, and you can, if we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm terrible for
Compensation
turn
right
to the
there.
center.
So 1,
Over I
2,
want.
Like, so that's the one we would start right about there. Okay, that makes sense? Yep. Okay.
Right, I'm gonna have to first, right?
Yeah. because you're gonna work that way, correct?
Give me the hint if I'm left-handed.
Turn it upside
So-
down.
You do that.
No,
You're
but
not.
I'm holding it up.
Ah.
It's why I'm
It
here.
works
I
for
gotta
me,
learn
yes.
some trick.
Yeah, then see, you're doing 1, 2.
So
here.
up above instead of.
Upside down.
When I did this. Okay.
That was a huge, doesn't always work, but it's a huge hint. It
And
helps.
then I know I can get a full mosaic here, right? And then I do this one and come back and put there, and then start, that's what I, okay, I just, okay.
So are we gonna do straight across, gonna alternate these stitches right across? Are we gonna do all mosaic and then switch?
No, do the mosaic, Smyrna, mosaic, Smyrna,
never
mosaic,
forgot,
Smyrna.
okay.
Okay,
So
Um,
follow this.
any questions? Are you guys done mosaic and Smyrnas? Okay,
Yep.
yes. Are you?
I do have
Questions
a
on where to come
question.
down to?
Well, I do have a question on this thread, even to lay it, it's really kind of tubular. It's not really flat, right?
The
So you
ribbon,
just want to use the tube, you want to use the laying
ribbon
tool just
should
to
be
kind of
flat.
make it look,
It's flat.
yeah, it should be flat.
but when it goes in, it's kind of circular. I mean, I'm using the
The
laying
ribbon,
tool
yeah, the
for it.
ribbon wants to kind of like fold when, especially when it's just that little tent piece, when it's just over one hole, it wants to fold a bit. So yes, a lane tool helps that kind of lay flat on those little bitty pieces, and it should sort of straighten itself out if you're not using a lane tool.
Okay, thank you.
You're
So where
welcome.
should we start? I wasn't sure where.
Use this for a second. And let me swap this over. Hold on, let me get this set up.
Where did you want us to start?
Give me just a second to get
Oh.
this camera and I will.
Okay.
This is the adventure. Okay, so. Upside down. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so let me turn it this way so it won't be upside down. Okay, that's better. All right, so if you're looking at like the highest point of his hat, because everybody's canvas is painted a little differently, right?
Mhm.
That pink lands. I don't count where the pink is right here. I don't count that hole. This right here is where the compensation would start. So that would be a compensating stitch. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where I would start your mosaic,
Okay.
because it's going to go here to here. And then you're going to come over and go here, here, here. And then
So
it'll-
start in the middle.
yeah, and if guys, if it's easier starting that middle and not trying to figure, just start in the middle. Because again, you can go over from the middle and then come back and finish that. And then once you get moving, you're just doing back and forth and back and forth. And you will
Back-
do the,
Okay. I see it.
that makes sense?
Mhm.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna ask you guys to do as well. This is really a pilot class for this canvas. And when I wrote the stitch guide, it makes perfect sense to me, right? So as you're reading, just not even listening, as you're reading those directions, if you go, I don't understand what that's trying to tell me, because I'm standing here saying it, that's different. But if somebody gets this stitch guide later and they're like, I don't know what that means, please read through it and go, you misspelled that, or you missed a period, or that makes absolutely no sense. So I can edit this. This is always going to be an ongoing edit. And then as you get down, and we're going to spend about 30 minutes on this, give you time to get some done. All right, so who needs help? Anybody want me to come over? You want to come over and I can demonstrate the stitch? Small, but yes. And generally you'll go, so if you notice, I'm gonna go back. If you, oh, you're left-handed, never mind, yes, you're working just fine. I know, I'm a touchy person, so if you're like, please, I know, I want to be offended. I'm a hugger. So yes, that is perfectly fine.
Okay, then.
All right, who else?
I like the way you mushed two stitches side by side. I would have never thought to do something like that.
There was, I just started looking on Pinterest and in
Yeah.
books and I felt like it gave it some more dimensionality
Doing what?
and and sparkle,
Oh, yeah.
talking about alternating the stitches. Turns back so you can see me. Okay. Do you guys tend to use stitch guides or you just kind of go for it?
Both, actually. I always look through sometimes, just trying to get a new idea for something.
And trust me, if you're like, I don't really like that stitch, I'm gonna do this instead, you will not offend me in the least. Matter of fact, I'd be interested to see what you'd prefer to do, because I may like to do that later.
I think starting with this, learning that you can do different stitches, I think is, now I look at things completely different than when I knew how to stitch years ago, which was
Yeah.
just continental basket weave. Now it's like, wait, this is all mine,
Yeah.
this can be. Great.
Yeah, again, I keep kind of likening this stuff to a recipe. It's like, all right, well, I want a little more salt, so I'm gonna do that instead, or I don't want salt at all, or
It's not as regimented, and I guess when I said I've been stitching for a long time, it sounds like Maggie has too. When we were taught, there
Yes.
were rules, you had to follow the rules, and
Yeah.
now it's much more fun.
there's things that make sense, like with needlepoint from come in a clean hole and go down into a dirty hole or one that's already there, so you're not pulling threads wonky. It keeps the tension better, but you can't always do that, or it doesn't always make sense based on what you're trying to achieve. Or there's just, and if you're putting stuff in the middle of stitches, that's not going to work anyway. So yeah, there's a lot more freedom in all of that, even in cross stitch. And yeah, it's just,
So when you do the second row, you're alternating the stitches?
yes, when you come down to the second row, so you finish this row, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now start over here,
Okay.
like towards the far end, yeah. And so this will be, because this is the mosaic, you'll have a Smyrna underneath
Okay.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
and you can go there. And so then as you start to go, it'll alternate on top and bottom and side to side. So if you have everything lining up under the rows, if you have Smyrnas under Smyrnas or on top, then don't do that.
Okay, so.
Don't do that.
So this is going correctly.
I'm gonna get it under the magnification. You can see. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
And don't be afraid to use, I would say longer thread, but life is too short to change thread on rethreading all the time. What is it? I think in cross stitch, you're like, make it about 20 inches. And I'm like, as long as I'm not getting knots, I'm making it long. All right, so while all of you are doing that, who would, easier questions, who would not want to be in the drawing for the cabochon?
Oh, me.
You don't want it? Okay. Cindy, do you want to be included in the cabochon drawing? How about you, Deb? Okay, everybody else would like to? Okay, while you're doing that, then I will get that set up.
You say you normally work light thread to dark thread? Or it just depends on your, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Now, if I'm doing black and white,
Yeah.
black and white seems to have different properties. I don't know, because there's the colors so different when they put it in the cells. If you'll, I don't know if you've ever noticed, especially in stranded thread like silks and cottons, some, the strand feels thicker and it's fluffier, and it's the amount of dye that is down in the fiber. So black tends to be very thin and white tends to be very thin. So I will tend to use my two things I consider. Like I have a piece that I'm working on where the black is like just kind of accents and pieces. Remember I said if I do that first, it gets pulled in too much,
Yeah.
but then black can also leave little fuzzies. So if it's a large area, I'm doing the black first, so it doesn't fuzz other things around it. But if it's just a little bit of things, then I'm gonna do all that white, because right now it's a white house with black shutters.
Yeah. And
I'm
that
doing
shutters
the-
you want them to stand out.
I need them to stand out, so I'm doing the white, and then if
Do
it
the
gets,
white last? to
I-
Make them stand out?
no, I do the black last, like on that, because
Okay.
yeah. Because I
The
need the,
black kind of sits on
yeah.
top of the white.
Yeah. okay.
yeah. Because yeah, it really is, think about the process of, are you pulling that stitch down? Because when you put that needle in and pull more thread through where there's already a thread, it's pulling the thread that's already there, the stitch, in a little more. So if you don't want that to happen, don't do that one right then and there. Do it after you've done the other stuff.
So it kind of depends on whether you want it. The stitch to be on top or on the bottom.
Yeah. And it's so subtle
Yeah.
a lot of times, but it can be kind of noticeable, especially when there's, in cross stitch, we call them confetti stitches, where it's like one of this over here, and there's one of this over here. And
Now, this is pretty much block colors, but say you have something that has a little bit of black here and not say blue here and pink there and blue here and blue here. Do you do all the blues or do you do kind of all the area?
I tend to do the area. So like I did his body first because I knew I wanted that tucked in on the edges by the background. I wanted his hat to stand up on his body more, so I didn't want to do that first because I knew the body would pull those stitches down in.
Like the hat is on top of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did the main hat first because I wanted the hat band to be more not pulled in. I wanted it to, so it's on top. So that's how I thought through that process. And I know there's two schools of thought of do the background first, do the background. Again, I think for me, it really depends on what do I have going on with everything else and what do I need it to do?
Because I always did the background last until I started taking classes and getting more serious. And it's like, maybe not do the back, maybe do the background first.
All right. All right, I've got Maggie, I've got Anne, I've got Linda, I've got Marion, Vicky.
I would love a sheet of paper. What I usually do is put it right in the middle, you know. and
I usually have little
everything-
table tents that
Yeah,
everybody fills out,
yeah.
and so we are moving. Who am I missing? No, no, no.
Yeah.
Maggie and Mary. Right back. Got everything. How's it going, guys?
Perfect.
Good?
How you doing? I'm just smart.
Hello.
Okay.
On that
No,
one.
one hot, well, you're up.
Gotta go one time.
Nope, you're good. I was just looking for mine. Okay, for sure. And I use magnification with everything, so not having magnification, so.
On a 13, it's kind of okay.
That white on white.
Yeah, this is okay. I had my cataract
Oh, that's
surgery,
easy.
so I'm good.
Okay. My husband's a lefty. Yes, I was telling you that we are moving, so. As of the 17th, next
Oh, you-
Sunday.
you're literally moving.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
next Sunday, we will be in about 30 miles inland Naples, Florida.
Oh, wow.
So we spent. Packing all last week. Loaded up the rental truck, a 26-footer on, I think it's right. Loaded up a 26-foot Penske truck Sunday. Drove down to Naples, we rented a house, kind of, my sister and brother, or sister-in-law and brother-in-law live in the neighborhood we're gonna be in, they're in real estate, so they were able to help us find a place, you know, so we just kind of rented it that way, we hadn't actually been in it, but we know the plan. So we are, we spent 10 hours on the road Monday, driving down there.
The beautiful weather that we've had.
But actually it was great. It was great
Down
weather
there?
Monday. Monday, we had like a spit of rain in lower Georgia and that was it. And traffic was fantastic because we got off onto 75. We didn't go through, it was an extra few miles, but much less headache. And then we spent Tuesday and Wednesday unloading everything and trying to unpack as much as I possibly could. And then we spent 10 hours on the road yesterday coming back.
And here you are.
So yeah, it's been a whew. And then we will pack again another truck with the little bit of leftovers that we have on Saturday this coming week and then hit the road on Sunday.
Oh,
So,
no.
it's
We just moved 3 months ago. My husband swore last time we weren't moving again, but here we did it again.
And where did you move to?
Greenville,
Okay. That's beautiful around there.
it is. It's
Very pretty.
We wanted to escape having to evacuate
Oh,
and all the other good stuff, the alligators and us and the humidity, and we get up there and the hurricane follows us right up there.
yeah, right? Isn't that something?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, we will be moving, so we lived in Charleston for, my dad was I was an Air Force brat, so he retired down in Charleston. I actually graduated high school up in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So I'm good with no snow for the rest of my life. My husband has never lived in it, so he has very much romanticized what snow is. So we were in Charleston, had been there for, 34 years. And then he retired from Santa Cruz, which is the big state electric provider.
I
And
used to
I,
work there
did you? Where?
in the safety department.
Okay, because I was there when were you there?
Oh, gosh, it was in the 80s.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get there until 97. And left in 2018. No, got there in 2006, sorry. But so he ended up retiring and I left there to go open Fire Poppies. And when he ended up retiring, we built our dream house. It was on 13 acres out in Monk's Corner. We thought this was gonna be it. And Macedonia, technically. And he said, I don't think I want to, let's do something. I've never lived anywhere else. And I was like, okay, well, the lease is coming up on the shop. So that would be a good time to just kind of not do it. And so we worked out a plan that we're going to live somewhere and just rent for 2 or 3 years and then move somewhere else. And by move somewhere else, I mean a different state. So we moved down to Beaufort because it was kind of a good trial for him to do so because he had an ex-brother-in-law over in Data. And it was, an hour and a half from Charleston. So our grandkids and daughter were up there. And, if he was comfortable with that, then I knew he'd be okay living farther. So we've been here since August of 22. And then his sister and brother-in-law down in Naples. So again, kind of let's
That
go
brought
where
you
we
down
know
that
somebody. That's why we'll
Mhm.
go that way. And then after that, it's going to be Montana. And I
Have you been to Montana?
no,
Oh,
So
I
I
know.
came in Colorado.
And you don't want snow?
Oh,
I don't,
right up
but
there.
he does.
Snow.
Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna get snow.
Yeah, he is. And I, altitude
I was at
to
9,000
adjust
feet.
to
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we've got our house on the market now. We've had it for 18 years.
Wow.
And mountain life is great, but the altitude is absolutely
Kill me.
something to
Yeah,
deal
he
with.
wants to be over by like Yellowstone, so it's probably going to be Bozeman.
Bozeman. I used to live in Bozeman.
It's beautiful
It's
and
expensive as heck.
yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, be
Everybody from
prepared.
California's moved to Bozeman.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It
So
was,
Yellowstone,
figure it out.
Yellowstone didn't help,
yeah,
Montana.
Yeah.
It's like that Yellowstone.
the other part that's different, we went out there,
I have a question.
yes.
we'll do that. That's more important.
Okay, so now what do I do?
Okay, so you're going to go.
So I
down the
was
road.
doing that, so I take that one out, that little single. Should I take that one little place
Because
out?
you've got here, you can go there, and then you can actually finish the next.
Do that.
Mosaic,
next-
yeah.
Okay, and then go down the road.
Yeah, go
and
down the road.
Start back.
Yes.
And
And then when you get here, you can come up and finish the little piece, because you're gonna have these little pieces until you get these really long
long
ones.
ones. And when I go back, what did you say about like this should be this here?
Yes, yes, so this will be over
Opposite
here.
of what's here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna surround this with. What is this called? Is this
the
mosaic?
Smyrna.
Smyrna.
This is the
And
Smyrna.
this is mosaic.
Yes,
So I'm gonna surround the mosaic with Smyrnas.
yep.
Okay,
So when you go down to the next row, wherever when you
Yes.
drop, whatever's there, do the
The
opposite,
opposite.
and then we'll work that way.
okay,
We'll
and
work
then
whichever
back.
way we wanna go, yep.
Okay, gotcha.
And again, no police, so if you're like, well, I don't wanna run all this thread back to finish off that row, then drop down and keep going and go up and then
Right.
finish it, it really,
Doesn't,
yeah. And if you're like, "This teacher's insane, that's not how you do that," that's okay. I'm a bit of a free spirit. Yes, ma'am.
This doesn't look right.
Okay, so let me get it underneath
I think the last two are
magnification
different.
under something dark. So really all that's happened is you just started to get to where it would need compensation.
Okay.
So just pull these two out.
So,
And then that's just very familiar on here because this is your Smyrna cross right here, right? Do a mosaic underneath it, go back there, and then just start working your way this way. So you get over here, then that's pattern.
Oh, okay.
Going.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
How are you ladies doing?
Good.
Good,
Good.
good? Okay.
Doing good.
Ooh, I see some background going on there, Cindy.
Oh, sorry, I cheated
No, no,
yesterday.
you're good. You're good.
I got a lot going on
It's
here.
like
let me
you
tell
got, you got it ahead of time, so I mean, yeah.
I'm stuck down in Key West, and so I have nothing else to do but go to exercise and needlepoint. So that's what so that's what I do. But I do
Right.
have a little house up in Bonita Springs.
Oh, do
But I-
you? Okay.
I do
Yep.
that I
Well,
get to.
we will technically be in Ave Maria.
Okay, so that's in a little bit, right?
Yeah, so there's Naples, there's Immokalee,
Yeah.
then there's Ave Maria. So really, we're about, 8 miles out of North Naples.
Okay, and I'm just right on the border. I'm mile 116 off 75. I need
Okay.
to be- I'm off of that exit.
Okay, cool. Well, then we won't be. Is there any guilds around there? When I looked online, it looked like they were a few hours out from everywhere.
Well, Needlepoint Paradise is right there.
Okay,
That's right there in Naples.
okay.
Right there
Have a
between
point-
Immokalee, just if you get off of Immokalee Road, that's exit 111, and you get on 41, they're in a shopping center just north of that.
Okay,
And so that's their main needlepoint store there.
okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was any needlepoint guilds.
I don't know anything about that.
Looking onto the website, it was like, that's 2.5 hours, that's 3, that's.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with guilds.
And I'll drive an hour and a half here. It just doesn't feel like it's really distance wise, it's that far, but maybe that's the same thing. Maybe it's just traffic wise, it makes it bad, but. Yes.
There's a
Alright.
gal that I met at the retreat that they had here, and she lives in, and she said she literally is gonna try to move somewhere where there's a shop because. She wants to shop here.
There. Here. And then go down thing. So you're doing this. Yeah.
So when you get to the end of the road, do I turn it upside down or do I reverse or do I? Like when I get, so,
Okay, so this is your mosaic here, right?
right,
So you're gonna drop down, just do a Smyrna.
and go that way.
Yeah, however, for left, that makes sense for you, but yes, so this will be a Smyrna, that will be mosaic, Smyrna was, so it'll be
So
opposite.
then I just go back.
Yes, I just went back and forth.
Okay. Got it.
And then and if you want, you can fill these up a little bit, because
Whenever.
whenever you're ready for it.
That's mosaic.
Okay, Pam? I think so. It's fun little stitches.
Yeah, and they're not. I don't feel like these two particular stitches are,
Now see,
no, go right ahead.
I would turn it upside down so I'm going in a clean, up in a clean hole.
Sure.
Not like Nabucco.
She said, Pam said she hates Nobuco.
I do know
Oh,
that.
really?
I do know that.
I hate Nabucco too.
At the guy, but I can do it.
And I look at the guide, I mean, even though mosaic is
Some
kind of
show you
that
what you're
basic
talking about, like,
stitch. I still,
you
I
cut
always
and
look, I
come out
don't,
a clean hole rather than, if I say this way, and I have to come up in a dirty hole. Which splits the thread a little bit. Okay, go ahead and come up here. All right, so turn around and show me what you, so if I turn it upside down, then I'm coming up.
but see, when I, and again, left hand might be different. 'Cause when you-
Interesting.
Here's something new I learned today then. Because when I do my mosaic, I'm always coming down here, here,
Yeah,
here, here.
yeah,
Yeah, and it may be different for left.
there
So
might be
I'm
a way
always-
to do it. but
I'm
I-
always going down and then, but yes, for
So you're
here,
sitting
you would be
down.
coming up in a dirty hole because you're always
Yeah.
starting bottom to work up. So that would make sense to
I
turn
see.
upside down.
So in other words, it doesn't matter how I do it, it'll be.
It does not matter how you do
Okay.
it.
Now
And
that
there's
just
snacks and
means
drinks
why-
over here, guys.
Because if you have it on a frame like
Yes.
that, you can't turn it upside down. I guess you can. It turns
Just-
it down.
yes,
It
it
turns
turns.
these down.
Yeah.
No, done that.
That's
This is
interesting.
the
I
one that's just got,
Never thought of
this
that.
little guy's going under this, Smyrna goes under that.
Yeah, so it's Myrna right here, right? Yeah, do a mosaic and then do
That's the
that.
word mosaic.
Yeah, and then do backwards here to fill in whatever it be instead of struggling to figure out how that pattern is gonna look. Do the one you know,
Or
and then,
lump
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. All right, it looks like everybody here is already kind of doing a second row or kind of dropping down. Are you guys to that point? You're good?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of, I can't see.
Yep, no, that's fine. Again,
I kind of,
that's that. I was the same way. I was like, okay, well, I've got to come up and fill this in.
I
and-
did a little bit diagonal too, Cindy, the same.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It seems easier.
All right, so about, you guys good with about 5 more minutes of this and then we'll move to the next section?
Sure.
Okay. When you do get to the point when you pick this up, you know, if you're that person who takes a class and it goes into the thing and you just have the partials you've done and you don't look at it for 10 more years, perfectly fine. If you're the person that takes it and goes home and does more at night, great. But I do want to kind of point out, when you get down to the body, his body, where's my picture? When you get, and I'll show you guys in a sec, when you get to the body, pick a half, right? I mean, this may be very common sense, but there's no need to waste thread going all the way back and all the way back, right? Don't go, oh my gosh, if I do that, if they counted over that, would that not be the Smyrna part? It doesn't matter. Just do here and then finish that and then do there and finish that. The patterns are far enough apart. Nobody's gonna go, well, that should have been this, right? See what I'm saying? Right? Now, here's the other tip I'm gonna tell you. When you get to the little piece that's under in between his scarf, this little triangle right here, start at the bottom because you should be able to get a full Smyrna and a full mosaic that way. And then work it up to do the little bit of compensation stitches. So I just told them when you get ready, and sorry, the whole backwards thing's got me going. When you get to his body, just do a section, do it all. Don't worry about trying to figure out how the pattern lines up across the other side
Yep,
because it
can't
doesn't
tell.
matter visually, all right? When you get to that little piece that's right down here at the bottom, this little triangle of white, start at the very bottom and you should be able to get a full mosaic and a full Smyrna in there, depending on how your canvas was painted, and then work up the little bit of compensation that might be in there. Versus trying to figure that out and then it gets wonky. That'll give you a visual, nice edge to it.
So
That-
shouldn't you do that on both sections too? So you have going up 2, so you're not off on the other side?
What do you
Do you
mean?
know what I mean? Well, you go up, it's 2 and 2. It's 2, right? So shouldn't you start on the bottom sections on the bottom and go up and do it?
I just kind of picked an edge that was gonna allow me to do a full something up in here or over here. It doesn't really matter. And then did a row. And by the time I got down, my canvas, I don't even think, I didn't have any compensation on the bottom when I got down there.
Well, that's
So-
what I'm saying. Like, is it easier just to start on the bottom and go up 2, go up 2, go
Sure.
up 2?
Yeah,
Sure.
and then when it gets
Because then you're the same on both sides.
Okay, gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yes, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't something I thought about because I didn't end up having any compensation at the bottom at all when I got down there. So yeah, I think I got lucky on my canvas at that point that it wasn't something.
I
Yeah.
visited there a few times.
Oh, okay. I have a friend-
So Deb pointed something out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deb pointed something out on the
And I
bottom.
went to her birthday there. She lives in San Diego. La Jolla, really, and Whitefish.
When you get to the body, I got fortunate on my canvas that I didn't have any compensation stitches in that bottom row of his body, right? On the sides. So it didn't look wonky. So it sounds like it's much smarter, thank you, Deb, to start at the bottom and work your way up so you have two nice full rows.
Yeah.
of line. Yeah. So you can
Down
ensure
here.
that there's, yes. Okay.
Over here. Over here.
Yes.
The dangerous frame.
No, you're
I
fine.
should put a little flag.
You're good. It's there. I'm good. Like one of those little backup flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So she lives in. And. I used to live in San Diego, so I know. La Jolla.
All right, let's
There's a needle point.
Oh, I've been
kind
to La
of
Jolla.
finish up the little stitch
Needle point
that
for
you're
what?
doing. And because I want to move on to the main area of the hat. So go ahead and get tied off, or if you just want to park it, or however you like to do it. Run it underneath. And I'm going to use you as an example here. We're going to get our blocks. We're going to end up, ladies, on Zoom. We're going to use these two threads when we get in, when you finish tying off. We're going to move to the hat.
Cool, it's pretty.
These are the threads you're going to use next. Yep, you're good. You're good. So I'm going to read this out loud for a second because I kind of want to make sure as you're listening to me say it, it makes sense. We're going to use 6 strands on here. And I want to say it's already should be 6. So one of the things I want you to do, and it's a bit of a pain, but it's worth the pain. When you open up your thread and you pull you cut your length, you're going to pull out all 6 strands. Okay.
Stranded.
Put them together. Because if you don't, it will not, it's not going to look right. All right. So I'll show you an easy way to do that. If you're like, it always gets tangled. Yeah, I promise you, I can show you how it 99% of the time will not. So what I say in here is start at the top left side of the hat. So we're going to start. And what I'm going to have you do is we're going to start in the white part of the hat. And I'm going to make that connotation because I want to change that. White. This. And if you need, somebody needs to borrow a pen, I've got one. And it says we're going to do this alternating oblong crosses first. We'll do all of those before you go back to do the little cross stitches that are in the center, which give it a little sparkle. I say this section requires more decision making than the other areas of the canvas because you're going to need to determine which color will be the dominating connector when some of the blocks touch. All right. Because at some point, like this one, there's brown, it almost looks like it's not a hard line, right? It kind of connects in there. That's very squared off and there's no white that touches the other white. This is a knitted hat. And in knitting, does anybody knit?
Mhm.
Okay, so nothing's perfectly, and so in the piece I did, and it's hard to see from this distance, when I came to these junctions that had to have, something was gonna be kind of both colors, right? So I could make it look a little more square. I was like, okay, in this one, the brown's gonna be the top of the X. In this one, the white's gonna be the top of the X. So what I did was, I made, my threads were long enough. As I was going, I said, okay, I'm working on this color. And then now I've got, all right, I need to change colors. I'm just taking that thread off and kind of popping it over the top. I'm not tying off. I'm kind of changing colors while they're all in there. It wasn't a lot to have to deal with, so it wasn't hard. And that allowed me to go, okay, now I'm starting back to this. But I did say, I did all the whites first, right? On a row, and then I came back and did the browns. I didn't do all the whites and then go all the browns. I tried to make it, because that's where I was having to make decisions.
So you did white, brown, you did it by what? By row.
Right, I did it by row because when I started to do it all, I was like, well, I don't know right now what I need to connect. So I found, for me, it was less stressful to make a decision, because that's where I can get stressed out. What do I? To go, okay, I'm treating this as its own separate area, and I'm gonna do that, and then I'm come down, and then and do that. So when we get to these junctions, I will help you figure that out. So let's get your white thread, all right? And because we're gonna start with the white, because that brown is gonna have a lot of compensation going on it at first, and I don't wanna have to deal with that right away.
Okay.
So, because it's just,
Sounds good.
so take your thread, and you will just kind of open it up, all right? Once you unloop, it kind of looks like this. They have it pre-cut for you. They've already decided how long that thread's going to be, all right? You guys with me? Zoom? Okay, so you're just gonna take one of them and just kind of lightly pull it away, something on the outside edge, all right?
Yeah. Well, I have all, when are you gonna do it? I need, now that I'm stopping doing something for girls, I need it, I said, when?
All right, now, when you go to strand this, and I struggled for years as a cross stitcher until somebody showed me the magical way. I would start in the middle and I'm trying to get it out, and it was just rolling on me. So here's what you do. You take it in and you kind of tap, tap, tap and fluff it all out, okay? And it kind of spreads them out a little bit. So it kind of spreads them out, right? Yep. And then you take one and you lightly, I just kind of hold it like this, lightly, or like this, and nope, hold here. Hold the main band here, take the one you want, and then you just do this. And it pulls away. And then you lay it out. Now, this has a slight variegation to it. So you want to keep the tops to the top and the bottoms to the bottom, okay? So I'll come over there in a second. So do it again. I'm just kind of holding this where this piece is, and Linda, if it's doing a little knotting, hold it closer up.
Okay.
Okay, almost like choking up on a bat. Okay.
And now what?
And
Grab
then,
one.
yeah, I'm gonna come over there and help you. So pull. And what it's doing is it's just kind of gathering at the base of my hand. Right? And then when I let go, the mask just kind of falls. All right. So Anne, I'm gonna let you do the rest of these.
One out. Yeah. I'm just gonna hold like this from here, whatever.
It'd be easier if they had, if she had pictures of some of the stitches that she did.
Oh, I can do that. For the
Oh, I thought we do.
She has the diagrams, but she doesn't have like what it
Oh,
looks like
oh.
on the canvas. That's what I
What
mean.
it act, yes. I've been able to go back to some original paper. I don't know, maybe it's the class
one of
summer
the- Yeah,
to find the original picture, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost doing this versus that.
Okay. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Okay, I got them all separate now. I have to line them up.
Yeah, so line them up. And when you lay them down, kind of sort of not being anal about lining them up and getting them relatively close saves you a few minutes at the end.
I love this thread works. It's one of my favorite threads.
Isn't that nice? All right, you
love
guys
this.
doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I am. I'm not meaning
I'm doing okay too.
to.
Great. Okay. All right.
I learned that trick a very long time ago too.
Yeah, I used to do DMC
I
like
mean,
this.
I learned
Yeah.
it about 10 or 15 years ago, but before that, that 25 something years of doing it for him was like, I used to hold them too tight. Yeah. And luckily I only had to take part 2. I didn't have to do 6.
I'll ask Ashley, you would know. That's okay.
All right. So when you're doing and I'm just going to talk about this before we get going, so don't worry if you're still straining, it's perfectly okay. When we're doing the alternating oblong cross, I decided typically a cross stitch is the bottom leg is the right hand leg and the top leg is the other side, right? Typically in a cross stitch, you go bottom left to upper right and then bottom right to upper left. Okay. In this one, I did it different because when I was going over here, I found that deciding where I was going to go helped me. So in the alternating oblong cross, it's a little backwards of that.
Okay. You can always order and ship.
All right, how are we doing, guys? Everybody still kind of putting together? Or are we getting close to stick? And I'm happy to demonstrate.
And so if you use the tool, what would you do with the tool?
So here's how I would do the tool. Needle,
Whether they have it
around here, I'll show you. Do you guys use laying tools, ladies?
Yep.
Sometimes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna make myself a little knot real fast. Deal with that. And again, this is a purl just so it shows up. What I would do is I would kind of put that down
Okay.
or up, either way, right? Depending where you're trying to go. Because as that comes up, that helps you kind of flatten that stitch out. And when it comes back around, you're able to guide it in. So when I do the oblong cross,
All right, so you do it and I want to watch.
all right, so, and again, I always look at my diagrams. I don't trust that I remember how to do anything, right? Because I don't want to tear it out. So I know that I'm gonna go, and I had to learn as a cross stitcher to stop thinking of holes and start thinking of threads. So I still think of holes. So, all right. So I know I'm going to. Technically, I'm skipping 2 holes and going up in the holes.
You
Right.
got 2 holes.
Right, but it's only one side, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, then
Over 1.
right? So I'm gonna hold it down. Help that leg, and then I'm coming here. Well, with this, we're doing kind of a typical,
So it's the same, it's
Right.
just one little,
yes, but we're
Row
not,
of-
in the alternating oblong cross, we're not completing an X.
you're
You're going, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, come back, dun, 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 dun. Okay, and the reason it does that, because in cross stitch, there's 2 methods of doing a cross, right? There's the English method and the Dutch method. And I always get them backwards, so I'm not going to tell you which one's which, because I'll tell you wrong. But one is you're completing the full cross every time. The other is you're going all the way over and
And
coming
then
all the way
crossing
back. That's what we're doing here. We're going all the way over and coming all the way back. Okay,
So you're going to, now you're going to.
yes, so
direct- what do you
here,
call that?
I'm
Direct.
going to go, I'm gonna skip one and there, because that hole will be open, so. Because that's it, so I'm gonna go over here. Let's skip that. Right? I'm in that
Yeah.
hole, I'm not there, I'm in this one, right?
Yes.
And I dropped, yeah. Here.
So then put your tool.
And go in, there. Because now that I have a guide, I don't have to really think about it so much, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then I do that. Because there's gonna be a hole skipped on each one. So let's pretend that I had done my whole rows, right?
Right.
Now I'm gonna come down here
And cross back.
and cross back.
I wanna see what you're doing.
Yes, coming over.
So-
Ladies, are you good or you want some, you want to see?
Well, where are we supposed to start?
At the white, the big white
Thank you.
space on the left. So
On the top or the bottom?
the top of this.
Top.
So this one, right here,
Okay. And start at on the line of the brown?
start on the, no, you're gonna start at the top because
On
you're
the top.
going, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
where you can make a nice full oblong cross, right?
Okay.
We're not worrying about compensation right now. Okay,
Okay, I'm the slow. at the
no,
bottom.
no, you're good. Okay, so I'm gonna start this row over. So I'm gonna start here, right?
I need to make a-
And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, open.
1, 2, 3. Oh.
Somebody's
I
canvas.
think. Yep. No, she was cutting a piece out for this, I think.
Okay.
And then we're gonna skip that.
Is
We're
this
gonna go
somebody?
here. And now.
There's 3 over.
Now.
Whenever you get
Yeah.
ready. That didn't work.
And now because I've got that, I just know I need to have a hole open there.
Right,
Go there,
okay,
right?
perfect.
So that
Like
first one,
this, yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
you want.
One of those.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
pick one.
And then when you're coming back, you're going in that skipped hole to finish the X. Right? So pretend I made all the rows and I'm going here. And I'm just going there. And if I was doing my lame tool, I'd be doing this. Yeah, kind of guiding it in. All right.
And help me again understand, which one are you starting with? Did you say
Sure.
The big one on the top.
This one right here.
Okay. And you
And
just pick where you're gonna drop it in.
Yeah, so I want to make sure I get a whole oblong, right? So this one kind of went down a row.
So did you start down? Okay, I'll figure that out.
Yes, yes, you're good.
Actually, can I take a picture of your finished piece?
Yes, yes, yes. Because when you get to this next row, that's where it's interlocking. Okay. So for here, I just finished this row.
This whole thing?
Yes.
Susan, will you use this whole language?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah, be careful.
Well, you're okay.
Yeah.
Mine are too far apart.
So you're starting. at the
Ignore
bottom.
this, okay?
Yes.
1, 2, oh, I got mine too far apart.
Here. You can choose your one you're gonna.
Because I think I want to go this way, the way she shows you.
On there.
I'm not used to.
Yeah, long.
Yeah.
I suppose you could cut it.
Yeah, if you prefer to cut it, you can.
No, there's gotta be a reason why we're doing this. So,
No, no. If you're like, I don't like really long threads and don't use really long threads.
yeah,
All right, so then what happens when you get your first row of the white done, you're going to want to notice that your say this well.
So I'm turning this upside down, right?
Well, I'm trying to decide.
Are you deciding?
Yeah. I'm trying to decide. So you're starting like,
So are we doing the actual full cross? Are we only going half and then where it's brown, changing to brown?
You were doing the full oblong cross in the white. Do that whole little white section. That makes sense?
Start there.
Yeah, so if there's one section that it's just two whites and then a brown, don't do that as a compensating, just do the full ones right now.
Just do the full ones right now, yeah.
Okay.
Second fold.
I was gonna start with this guy right here.
Yeah. It looks like she's saying start down here. Not square. Where to start, and then I'll decide whether I.
So I was.
That would
gonna
work.
start right here. You go.
I
start at least
yes,
4 holes.
because if you look at your thing, it's having you go
Yeah, you gotta have
this
at
way,
least
or
3.
you're going start from left and moving to the right. Your first piece.
Or you went this way.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't start with the bottom.
I would start
One,
Let's see that top one right there.
4.
That's where I would want to do that, and then you're gonna come down, because you're going here, 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 and then you're going back.
So
and
you're
then
starting
back
left
here.
and going right.
Yes,
So that first was a compensating one.
this top one is not. That little piece is there, but not this. Because they actually interlock. You're not straight down below it. But let me know when you guys get to where you now have to do the interlock. All right, come.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know who was. So she had it going.
Yes. So they're literally right, yep. So just take them out real fast, you're good. So this cross is literally just one thread apart from, you know, it's very tall and narrow.
Now, can I go 1, 2, 3?
If that makes sense for you, yes.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, as a lefty, you gotta think it differently, and
Yeah.
I unfortunately am not
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to be super helpful with that.
right, all my life.
Right?
Oh. You don't think about it.
No, so it's gonna start.
You're a little ambidextrous.
So these are technically 1, 2, 3 threads tall, right? It's really 1, 2,
That's a good
3,
idea.
4.
I'm with you.
She-
Okay.
What she did. Oh, yeah.
Especially when we're using that.
Well, I'm gonna
Yes.
start this over here. I'm gonna do it right handed.
Yeah.
And go, I'm gonna try to do it the way,
Yeah.
because I'm a,
Like
I'm-
he does.
yes.
And that's
Just because I don't know that I can figure out the directions backwards.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it right hand.
Okay,
I mean, you know,
You like.
the way it's drawn.
okay.
Okay.
So when you stitch, you stay within the color, you don't
Starting
overlap,
that one.
Mhm.
you don't overlap that edge. This is just opinion here. So here when you,
Here we are.
because that is
I know
more
that's
blue there,
probably what
I'm
I'm
not gonna worry about it. Because if you go up, you're gonna start making this hat much bigger than it is.
I see, okay.
So,
Alright, so
unless
that's
it's-
like here, I went over that edge and I was like, okay.
And you can decide that,
Right,
but
okay.
you'll need to be very consistent with how that
Yes,
works, right?
Oh, I should.
But here, I understand what you're saying.
So that thread right there is very white.
Mhm.
So great. And if you get up there, you're like, that doesn't look good. Well, then
Pull it out, okay, got you, okay, thank you.
let me check up on the same lady. Yes, ma'am.
So now I'm gonna go back and then I'm gonna go fill in those little things in the middle.
Okay, so you start at the bottom.
When do I add these little guys?
Those are gonna be at the very end. Yep,
Okay,
the whole hat would be completed. I mean, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do a little bit just to show you.
okay.
So now you're gonna
Go
go.
there
Mhm.
and up there and then continue back. this way. Okay, I think I'm okay now. I just wasn't sure where to put those little guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I had to figure out how to interlock them when I wanted to put, because I was like, I need something in the center of these to give a little bling.
Start here.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
So just drop that back in. Not this one. I'm gonna put it in. That's okay. So one more over if we're going. No, no. There you go. Over. All right, how you doing, ladies? Zoomies.
Okay, Susie,
Good.
go back on the X. The big ones. And then we do these later.
Yes, ma'am. Because those are gonna be.
So if,
Okay.
if it goes into the brown one, you should just figure out if you're doing a white one or a brown one
Should I
for a
do-
full cross, right? Is that what you said,
That's kind of gonna be.
Cindy?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. that's what it's doing.
She'll be back.
Yeah, you'll be in brown.
I've ripped mine out a couple times, but now I'm on track.
Yeah,
That's
don't
what I'm
you?
talking about.
Yep. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Deb? Or
I
Cindy?
said, as long, you never want to have a compensated oblong cross in the middle. You only want it compensated on the edges. You want to pick if it's either white or brown as
Yeah.
you go across.
Yes. Yep, because at some point when you're going, you would go into the brown and come back up in the white and you'd be like, okay, so do I want that to be white on top or brown on top?
Oh, so the brown is gonna go
Gotcha.
up into that
And yeah, there, you're gonna
next
have
one.
somewhere, you're gonna have a little bit of both. It's almost gonna look like a variegated kind of piece. But because, like I said, this is supposed to look like a knitted hat. And it always will be just a little, you know,
Gotcha.
if you really like, I don't want to think about this that hard, you could have all white on the bottom and all brown on the top for the whole thing.
If I go back,
Mhm.
one of my stitches is in brown. Right here.
That's okay. Well,
Now I need the brown.
that's where you'll make that decision. Do you want that to be brown coming back over, or do you want to keep this white?
Brown going this way.
Okay.
Is that what you did?
And my canvas was just a little different. Let me see.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So see, I made it brown, but like, yeah, so I had white coming underneath and brown, so it kind of angled everything that way. It's okay. And there is no wrong decision.
So should I have started over one more?
This one to be
Because again, because
two,
like, how would
three.
they had a definite line going down, yours is way more curved.
Oh.
So I had a very specific row.
So if I do white right here,
Mhm.
what says that I can't, the brown's not the next one over, right? Oh, I see, because I'm in the brown, that's where you're talking about.
Yeah, so you just have a little brown stitch, or you can make it white, and it's just gonna be a little bit. Make it white and see what
I
it
am
looks
gonna
like.
do one,
Yeah, just make it white and see what it looks like. If you're like, no, I don't think I like that, then
because otherwise I should have started over one more.
it doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't, because you're gonna run into this constantly on here.
Okay, I still gotta get options for Susan. Any time you're ready to break, there's one.
Okay, anything that's like gonna be a bit cold or.
The keys can be room temperature.
Okay, all right. I'll try to get everybody's. Yeah, so let's do that. Yeah, this is the part about needlepoint that drives most of us crazy. It's like, what do? I don't sit there. There, so that is so little bit into that brown, it's not noticeable. Yeah. Yeah, well, like you said. Yeah. Small spot. Oh, I need spaces. So I did go too far. Yeah. So with here. Look at here.
I've really
Here,
coming
and then
back.
there's a full red open, so really
We
for
get
the
this
bottom,
press reel.
right in here, and then a box.
Okay.
That's how we make space for this. Okay. That makes sense? Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
How are you doing, Linda?
All right, I'm coming back.
Okay.
So now I just
Space in between.
and then I just go above it.
I think you got
This, see, this
just
one
like
was
a
the short one, because it wasn't.
Okay,
this.
you're good.
So this one
Then
comes
I just-
across.
Oh, did I?
So now my next one is here.
You went above this.
So you've already
And
completed, you haven't
a
completed
small
the
one.
cross yet.
No.
Okay, so
The
go right
last
next
thing.
to it. You're in the whole, you're in that space we need.
Okay.
Go to the left, go to the right.
It's the whole, it's
There.
sorted down.
It's a
Yes,
very
it is.
skinny
Yeah.
cross. And then
It's,
come
it's
out right
not,
next
it's
to
the
it.
whole below the one down.
Right, below
If
the
you
top.
still have space.
That's what I was
in
trying to
between.
like. Okay,
Each of
now
them.
what do I
So I'm
do?
gonna come down here.
Well, don't feel love because I got to, where do I do with the second stitch?
Because we need to complete that cross. Because you said you've not completed the
See,
crosses yet,
see,
right?
this was my last, this is my, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one couldn't make the whole thing.
Nope, you will not have compensation in this hat, just on the edges.
Right. So. So. So this, sorry, I want to get this one, this one, this one, this one.
Mhm.
Also, I shouldn't make that little one there.
Nope,
Okay.
Oh,
no, because those are different threads.
I used a brown hole.
That's okay, it is okay, it's okay, there's no, and I wanna make sure everybody's clear, there's no compensation in the middle of this hat. It's only on the outside edges that you'll have any compensation.
Okay.
We're not gonna try and figure those out.
So here's my. So I shouldn't have that little one.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, this is why this is a pilot class. How are you doing?
I think I got it.
You got
Maybe.
space? Yes. Oh, look at you, girl, you're already on the next row. Good
She's
job.
really on that.
Interlocking, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's the piece, that's like, okay, now you gotta make sure they interlock.
Okay, so.
So everything else is gonna be, around it is gonna be brown. Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's no compensating here, you just happen to get lucky that nothing went into the ground as you were going.
Yeah, I was very lucky.
Yes, you were. All right.
So do I go?
Right, so
Because I
we
messed
need
that up the whole
holes
first time.
in between. So look at. And you don't have to, it would, we just won't have space for the. Actually, we do need those, because that's what has to go with this. All right, so see how there's a whole space under here? Oh, I'm sorry. Just kidding. All right, you're fine, you're perfectly fine.
Part coming back.
Okay, so now if you look at the diagram. We're gonna go down 1, 2, and over 1. On this. So if we look at this leg right here, which is the underneath one of that one,
Okay.
okay? So we're going. Just a second. Look at this one. There, that's that. Okay. And then then we're gonna go down a hole, and over. So down a hole, and over. And now you're gonna come up. And you're gonna go right. And then, because it's the same counting, it's like 1, 2, 3, over. You're gonna go inside that. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Once you get that first, all right, Zoom ladies, how are we doing?
Good, I think.
Good? Okay, everything's interlocking
Yeah, I
and
think so. I'm kind of went over to the next section.
that's
I'm
fine.
starting the next
See?
section.
Okay, if you're,
It's trial and error, I guess.
it is, and that's, I don't know if anybody else has this, but that's kind of the biggest thing I've learned is to just try it and it's like, this isn't working. Then do something else. Okay, so now I just kind of stuck because
Sure, yeah, I did it right there. I just want to
it's
do the
here.
same thing.
Then you
I
skip
did.
Cindy,
one.
did you just carry it underneath, like one thread underneath and just cover it? You didn't tie it off and start again, right?
Oh, no, I put
Put
it
it
down,
be-
then I'll cut them.
Underneath?
Yeah, I'll cut them later.
It's compensation, that's all you can do, just so it interlocks. And probably we
I don't
should
have
have
it
started
tied.
at
Okay,
the top.
good.
and
Come down.
compensated, yeah.
Kind of like this, though. It's kind of cool looking.
Are you good?
Mhm.
Okay, when you're ready to break lunch and over the ready.
Right.
Okay, you guys have 2 quiches
Yeah.
and a salad. Sharon wrote what the quiches are. The broccoli cheddar and Lorraine
Okay.
are the 2 quiches.
Yeah.
And salad in the citron.
3,
Oh, right
and
here.
over 1.
You can, it's set up right here,
Okay.
and you can either sit here or you can step outside.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For outside.
Yeah.
Going a different direction. Yes, we're going.
Food sound.
Bottom.
And there's
It's a
3.
good stitch if you wanted to do something knitted instead of doing like Kaylin with something.
Yeah, I really like it. It's pretty. I've done another one that looks like knit, but I don't know what it's called. And it was nice, but this, I really like this. It's kind of cool.
And it goes quick too. I bet you'd
Yeah.
be pretty on it. I bet you'd be pretty on 18.
Yeah. I have a 13 count. I don't know if everybody does.
Yeah, it's all 13, I think. I think she said that at the beginning.
Okay.
That's we did have a
I
lot.
really like this stitch.
Yeah. And so this
Every
way,
couple
don't
years.
go here,
Yeah.
'cause that's right, right?
That's all right.
So
They're
now-
still with us.
Here.
That's the main thing.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. See everybody tomorrow. Yeah. Oh,
you're leaving.
tomorrow. See you.
Thank you for your help.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
All right, now what?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Today off.
uh,
Oh, today's your day off.
Okay, so now we just keep the pattern going, right? Which direction are you? You're over here. All right, so now. And are you working top to bottom or bottom up?
All right, now which one?
Okay,
Let's see.
Oh, what?
Oh, let's see, the thread is bottom to top, yeah.
okay, so you're coming up and pull with thread already and then going
Down the
in.
hole.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna have you kind of swap that,
Okay.
all right?
Uh-huh.
Because when you're
Now
doing this,
clean.
right, and you aren't trying to, you're going down into a space that is tight
Yes.
versus trying to come up in that space. that
Yeah,
is
I was
tight.
doing it that way.
It's okay, that's okay.
Okay.
All right, so
You're fine.
this is a little bit of compensation. Think for a second.
Okay. And so start the X up there and do 2 make.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up just because it's bigger and we can work back up there.
Well, I did these 4.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure where to go.
Ah,
Might not be a
see.
good idea. So I'm gonna, what did you do? Oh, you went at the top.
Yes.
So now where are you gonna go?
I don't know. Okay, no, all right, so. Let's start with this one because this is the one that I don't have to make a decision on.
Okay.
Here. And. Everything doesn't down there. See how that makes it where you're not
Yes.
struggling to get
Yes,
through 6
find the
strands
hole.
of thread. And I'm just gonna. Get the hole, right? there.
And makes,
It'll be a compensating stitch, it won't be as big. Because it's not as, say that.
Well, it'd be at least two.
Yeah. And then here, because it's gonna start going down, we're just gonna drop down. That would be the skip. Come down.
Going that one.
Yep.
So keep the bottom X the same level, the walking the
It has to
same,
stay the same.
and just do a shorter.
Yeah. You could-
cross into your house. Okay, well. Okay, so that's the four, I got four. That's
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Now I'm not sure, do I do the little one now, or do I? do-
Nope, the little one, that itty bitty cross stitch is
Yeah.
a completely different color thread. It's the
Oh.
sparkle. So we're gonna get all the, you would do all the, and we'll do a couple just to show you in class. But
Okay,
you would literally do all the oblong crosses before you go back.
so now I
to
put
do
this
the
oblong
sparkle.
in the middle, so I'm not sure where I start that. So I'm
Yeah.
going top to bottom.
So where, how are you doing
I'm
it?
over here.
Okay.
Bottom.
All right, so now, just for a reference point, look at this one, for the one underneath. And we're gonna say, okay, go 1, 2, and over. Hit 1, 2.
From my last stitch,
From underneath.
where I went in.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah, no.
where I went down.
Get this.
I got
Nope, you're
it.
good. You're good. Okay, so we're gonna lock this right
Oh,
here.
that leg, okay.
Right, and this will be compensating because it won't go down all the way, right? Here's where it's gonna land. But, so I'm gonna go down 1, 2, and over, so you're gonna come up here. Got it? Here. One more over.
Here's
One more over. There you go.
under that, okay.
And you're gonna go right in there. Which is why you wanna come up and clean on this stitch to go down into.
So I'm gonna get forward, take one.
One up from the top.
Not,
Mm-hmm.
and I do all the way over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have that one like.
skip a hole here, you're gonna keep doing it and then come back,
Okay.
yes. Because again, this interlocks with each other, and that's the complication on this stitch.
Yeah,
That's what makes it harder.
what we like. it. So that's good, cause it looks out.
Yeah,
at the
because then
bottom
we have
of-
all the little space for all.
Oh, like this, okay. All right, cause that's what you want, is that little.
Yep, that's what we're going for, is get that little space. in the middle.
Okay, so when you, should you tie this off?
I wouldn't, because
And
it
you
just
just-
adds bulk.
So
What
just
I would
move over.
do is, I would then, so like here, when you get to this one. So this will go here, right? And that will be brown.
Brown.
Brown, and so that can be brown, and it's just gonna look like it's a little there, and it's gonna be right there.
Okay,
Here's what I would do. Do whatever makes you happy. I would take the needle off of my
thread,
thread, and I would throw this over the top
okay, and start from.
and then start the brown and just run it underneath the white, because there's gonna be so densely packed, it's not gonna matter, or cut knots, whatever you like to do. And then do the same thing. So my recommendation is start at the top
And work down.
work down, but, all right, ladies, pay attention on this. When you go to do your neck, when you start the brown, that pattern needs to stay the same all the way across, okay? So if you have a full one here, or you have a row here, keep that going. Don't go, oh, well, I'm gonna start it. No, that has to keep going there.
So do, cause that was a full one, so do a full one up here.
Yeah, and you may have a little bit of,
Yeah.
but yes, so that, you'll skip that hole, you'll start there and go, and then keep going. So
Okay.
top down makes you not go into a dirty hole, struggling or trying to come up through a hole that has a bunch of thread in it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So I would just make sure I got this going.
Look at you.
So is that all right? So
Yes.
this one, should I do the white then over?
So we would have a skip there, nope, because that will be likely brown, because remember, you're gonna have a hole. This will be a brown. No, I would make it brown.
Okay, so just let it be for now.
Yeah.
And go.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened,
Mhm,
because you didn't start at the very top with the top of your stitch.
mhm.
Now you have,
And compensated at the bottom.
yeah, and see, we won't really concentrate on that.
No,
So
oh, I might take it all out again.
it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And here's what you can do.
Yes,
You can go ahead and start your brown at the top,
okay,
right? And get
Yeah.
that going. And then
Yeah.
just take this out later.
okay,
Because all we're doing today is giving you the experience of the stitch.
right.
And so you got the idea. of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's start the brown up at the top. And then we can get to where you can put the cyclamen in the middle, and that one will be,
But see, if
Right.
if I start, the way this hat is, if I started at the top, it
Yeah.
would just be these two
that's okay. That's what happened on mine,
with the white.
with not compensated. Yep. That's how.
I did, you have to.
You have to on the,
You
remember,
have
on
to
the
just make sure
edges.
the lock.
Yes.
Okay, so should I start out and go, take this out and start more at the top, or can I?
No, because you've got a full row in the bottom, you're
Wow,
fine.
Looks good, okay,
You happen to get lucky.
okay.
Well, so
Okay.
maybe, maybe it should have been, I started at the
She showed
bottom.
me, and I just
You
made sure
could,
that the
And then
lock
go up, because
is the
that's
right,
what's
the right
happening.
place,
And
and not the right length, the right place.
Yeah, see, because
And
it's
then
kind of
it
hard.
goes a little shorter.
You're not always.
So the
if
top
that's- it's
or
perfectly
whichever.
start
Yeah,
from
so
the
you know what,
bottom.
I'm gonna pull it out, and just, it's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
then
just gonna
I
make it
don't-
easier for me to figure out what's going on over here.
Okay.
All right,
And if you guys, if any of you are at a good place where you're like, okay, I'm kind of comfy and you want to stop and start eating, go for it, because it's noon.
It's amazing how fast.
These will be compensating. Okay.
And just goes
then.
Ladies,
Why we pause?
and let me ask you, how are you guys doing so far? Because
Good. Don't know if you can
good
see.
job. Nice. Okay. Yay. Okay.
So where is the pause button? Pause right there.
Okay. We're gonna pause it and be. So we're gonna drop now because otherwise you'd have a straight line going across, right? So this is now this one's no compensation. So you're going to go as you're doing all.
So this is where you shop.
You're doing individual as you go,
Right here.
or you're doing the legs.
I'm doing that.
Okay.
It's so
So
bad.
really, we're.
No, I was asking my sister.
This really doesn't stop.
Cause like she
We
had
just
a
have to
purse
drop
that
it
she
in.
done and she does belts. and
So
She
if
made
we're going
Christmas ornaments for
here-
the kids and she's made the little boxes now for the kids for Christmas that she's gonna put little special things in. I said, Mary, where do you get all this stuff finished?
this is how I
She
think
said,
about it.
I just looked it up online, looked up on Instagram or, and see who's doing the best finished work. And she mails it all over the country. That's what I said. I said, that's too complicated for me. It's gotta be. But her shop is in Richmond, even though she lives at the Greenbrier.
All right, so if this is the bottom leg, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna go, I'm gonna get the hole like I would. It would put me here, but I can't.
I have
So I'm
no
gonna go
idea,
down
but I tell the gals here,
right there. Oh, okay.
I had no idea what I was
Okay.
saying.
And then do that. And then,
Yeah.
okay, if I kept going across, well, I
Yeah.
can't be in the blue, let me drop down.
This shop just got me back into it years ago, when they were just this little store.
I remember when I was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I've been coming here for what, 25 years and
Okay, I'm not
just come do a project
You're
every
fine,
now
hang
and
it
then.
in.
Yeah.
Okay,
on
But I
these.
never did anything
Okay.
fancy.
I'm just gonna start again.
I need to up my game a little.
These,
Well,
I don't like.
that's okay. It'll
It'll get taken care of with that.
You get a retreat.
Yeah,
here in
it'll look
September.
square.
I was doing
Yeah,
It's
flowers
really square a lot.
at the,
Right.
so,
And
wherever.
That's why I said don't.
And I
stretch
was doing
over
the flowers and I looked at
where
the
it's
room
lighting
wall and I was
exactly.
like,
Because
what
you're
are
right.
you
I
doing there? What,
imagine
what's
we
the
got
beautiful
some
Junction
with
doing?
them.
And so I
Right.
came a couple
And
of
we're
around
there.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a retreat.
Actually, this
And I said,
guy.
that is
I
so,
don't know why I didn't put something
so cool.
underneath.
Well, I stepped in.
Figure that
because I
out.
know
So
I
they
know
put
it.
that
I'm
in.
still like, what is
That's
this world?
right, this does take a little more concentration.
It does.
all over.
And in fact, one of them.
And it's one of those things,
yeah,
once your brain
One
catches
of
the
them-
pattern,
They're
then you're
coming in
good, but it's a
February,
classroom
and she's
setting.
staying at my house with another gal.
Right.
I was
And
like,
I meant to.
Right.
These ladies
'Cause
are like
even me looking at everybody's like,
big
okay,
time
now
stitchers.
And
And
then
then in Kansas City, we still have a place
Yeah.
there.
yeah, this is,
Kansas City Needle.
this is a
Point
think
is
about
having a
stitch, yeah.
retreat in April. And they had a mini retreat and all the 3 women I met here, we're all going.
it's amazing.
Are you going?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, I'm gonna
That's
entertain
what I
them.
do for,
Yeah.
fun. To go right there. Oh, I'm missing a hole. What goes up here? Hmm. There.
Huh?
Did I go over here for another, yeah, I'm just trying,
Okay, so we need to finish down here.
okay,
So finish this row first.
okay. Oh, I need to,
That's the skid.
oh, this is skill.
Right, because that's gonna go that way. There you go. Go in,
Out. And over.
because that bottom is cool.
We know where there.
Mhm.
Not getting the feel of it.
It's okay, and in this classroom setting, when you can't focus easy,
Yeah.
that's why this stitch feels a little frustrating. So give yourself some grace.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, can I do, should I do that little one right
I
there?
would, yes, do that. And then it's gonna go just slightly into the brown.
Now that.
Nope, you're gonna do a full one. It is not compensating.
Oh,
Nope, we're not compensating in his hat at all.
okay,
So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3.
and
So,
over one,
so you
okay.
can be a little bit into this brown.
Oh, yeah, I do have room to do that.
Right, and so then the. Nope, it's not right. Yes, yes, you're right. Sorry, looking at the white.
Two, three, so I have to go over into
Yep.
brown.
But then when you come back to the other side,
Uh-huh.
don't do that white, make it brown.
Make it brown, I
So
get it,
go here,
okay.
see, so that's where
Yeah.
you're gonna have that partial.
So I think I've got it right now. finally. Yeah. So this one, I don't believe I have to compensate. I think I can get in another hole.
Nice, yeah, put it in and see what it looks like for you.
And then, so that's where I would come over.
Sure. And see, that's the challenge of looking from the bottom up, is that you're always gonna be trying to go into all that floss, trying to get it. Or you can come and go this way. That's the challenge of starting at that bottom row.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
totally. So when.
Which is why I
here-
probably why.
Totally fun. So when I was looking at this, it looks like I could get one full here. Would I, so that full, and then I believe I can get one more full here, and that's it.
And then it would be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll start working.
Yep, yep, okay. And then when you said you get to the edge, you could have one where it's the
so
off-white
let's
and then
show
brown, so it overlaps.
Show her
Yeah.
this for a second. So see right here, this one was
Mhm.
mostly white there, but it's gonna go into the brown.
Okay,
When she comes back to do that one, she's gonna do brown on top, and it's, the eye is gonna get a little, I will compensate and kind of soften
yeah,
that.
right,
Yep.
perfect. And like you said, if it was a knit situation, how it would be anyway.
Exactly.
All right, Suzie, what about this? Should
Thank
I
you.
not do this brown? Take that one out?
I would take that one out, yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, I think it's too much.
Did you keep your?
The white would be better.
I'm going to.
And just let it be,
Just
so
let it
that you
hang,
can
keep
take
it.
it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said, just let it hang there.
Well,
Just
hold on,
don't
can I
tangle
see
it
if the
up.
one more- I'd leave that the brown and then have that be white on top.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right,
So see how,
Yeah,
does that make sense?
that
now what I'm
makes
saying, you're
sense.
gonna have kind of
yes.
different colors on one of them.
That's a model over here and I'm ignoring that. It's not exactly there.
Who cares? I will show you my canvas where I messed up a Smyrna cross and I was,
Yep.
by the time I realized it, I was not ripping out 6 rows to get to that.
Ah,
I just wasn't.
I'm with you. So, I'm not worried about that too much just yet.
Exactly.
When we're doing this face, do we compensate around the mouth and the eyes?
So based on how my canvas was painted,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to do much around there. And that's why I started there and worked down, because then I ended up where I just didn't have, so let me grab the photo. And I'm coming to you, Zoom ladies, just a sec. I think I'm
Did
just
you get
gonna
it?
keep him off to the side. No, you're good. I'll put him in a chair so we can. Yeah, see, see how that happened?
Yes,
And it happened
There.
there, and it happened there.
right.
The white happened a couple places, so yeah, it's just kind of part of it. I didn't make it do. All right, so what was your question now that I bring this around?
Do I
Oh,
need to
yes.
compensate around the mouth and
So let's look at what happened to me. I had a full one there,
okay.
and I think I just went in and made like it,
Yes, I
that
did.
mosaic that was right there, I didn't make it full, I just went down so I could still see the black, I just wanted to see the black hole. So,
Okay.
because you don't want to cover it up,
Uh-huh.
and then these were big enough
It just worked out
that
that
they
way.
were
Yes,
almost a
gotcha.
full, like a
Okay.
full mosaic. Or,
Okay.
yeah, so as long as you can see where it's going,
Mhm.
okay, you're good.
Thank you.
All right. How you doing, Cindy?
Good.
Perfect, okay. What I
I
freaking,
like this stitch.
yeah, once you see it, you're like,
Oh
oh,
my gosh, I love it.
one of those things that until, and in a classroom setting, again, there's a lot going on, trying to focus, trying to see where it's at. You've got these color changes going on. It's okay. Would I freak anybody out if I said about 5 more minutes of stitching the oblong and then we'll do, or you're like, no, I understand how to do the cross stitch in the middle. We don't need to worry about it. Okay,
Me
so
too.
all right, well, then we will skip worrying about doing that.
We're just doing all, even in the brown, we're doing all the same little gold, whatever color that is.
Yeah, so it shows up more in the brown than it does in the white, but it gives a little sparkle.
Okay.
Because I was considering doing a bead, because I don't mind, I like beading.
I love
But-
beads.
Like, no, I've already got beads going on the flowers, and you wouldn't have beads in a hat anyway if you really had a stitched hat. Here's something to think about with the hat. If you like turkey work or can find a little palm, you could give him a palm at the top of his hat.
Oh, that
Um,
would be cute.
I had a stitcher when a friend of mine who was in, she's like, why don't you give him a palm? I was like, I've taken 1 class in turkey work and I haven't done it since. And yeah, no, not doing that. I'm good. He doesn't have to have a palm, but it would be adorable.
And what thread is that thread that's gonna be the little cross stitch?
It is, it
It
called
says it
for
up
the
here.
SP33. Oh, see, that's good.
Oh, that's that eggshell.
Okay, yeah, use the silk maze, it comes off the card and fill in with the cross stitches, etc. So that's the SP33, but they swapped it with SL33 or 193. That was the one.
That one.
That one, yes.
So that's what that little cross stitch,
Will be in all of
everything.
Yep.
You can just keep going.
it. Yep, yep. Right, 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 right.
Really nice.
Y'all are pushing my limits.
You'd be
up,
like the
huh?
beauty of the building. It was that daggone oblong cross stitch that was going to be the nothing.
And that's what this is
Yeah.
called, oblong.
Yeah, oblong,
Alternating
cross. Because you can do an oblong cross and not have it intersect like that. You would just have it go, and then you would have a little space in between either one, and you could put other things in
Been
there.
there.
Here's my tentative schedule here. I want to make sure we get as much done as we can, then we'll move on to the other stuff. All right. So we're gonna go for 5 more minutes on this, and then we're gonna switch over to doing the white, or excuse me, the pink neon rays in his main part of his hat band.
You separated these just the same way.
Uh-huh, yep.
So now do I do the dark one or do the light one?
I would do the dark.
Now I do the dark, okay.
Because that way, when you get to the
Then
white,
you'll know to,
you'll be able to make that decision when you get
Over
there
there.
versus going over there and go, oh crap.
does it, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, and then these would be little compensating stitches
Okay.
in here.
should I do that now?
I would, it's easy enough. Here's how I do it so that I don't get myself messed up. I pretend that I still have this row going,
Yeah.
right? And I go, okay, if this was this, the leg or wherever it is. And I go, oh, well, then that has to come down a bit, and then I do there and go in.
Mhm.
So instead of trying to go, how am I going, I just pretend it's there. No, can't be in the blue, go down till I run into white and then
Okay.
finish the stitch. Okay, I'm going to make notes on this so that I know. So here's kind of the changes that I'm going to make to my instructions. That we're going to start in the top left white block. And that the compensation is only on the edges of the hat. You do not compensate anywhere in the interior of the hat. Okay.
What is Michelle gonna do without you? You gonna come back and visit a lot?
Yeah, I'm actually coming back. So the Needlepoint Guild here in Hilton Head is, we're piloting a class for Dawn Donnelly. That she's going to submit to one of the A&G seminars. And so I'm going to drive up and stay with one of the guild members, Julie Anderson, who lives out in Kalawasi. And I'll stay with her for a few days and do that, because we'll be stitching there. Hey.
Nice.
Thanks, it's fun.
What is the stitch that's on the snowman's face?
It is an alternating, so it's Smyrna cross and mosaic, just
Okay.
every other.
Very nice.
So this is what he looks like.
Oh, it's nice to see the finished. That's beautiful. That's really pretty.
They want to do that alternating oblong cross bit, but.
And that's beautiful too. That's a nice little touch.
Yeah, it's a little cabochon.
How precious.
All right, while you guys are doing that, let's see who wins the cabochon.
Imagine how great that would have been back when you had your kids to have to help you with something, any of your children and go.
Yeah, there's a ton of these different apps out there. They're all like little wheels or whatever. So they're all basically free. You just, and you can have multiples, like I want a decision wheel for dinner. I want a decision wheel for this. So yeah, everybody's name.
Look, there's decision wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful.
And then you put the names in, you can name it whatever if you want, and then, so everybody's name's in here, right? So it looks like this, Cindy.
Spin. Oh my God. The kids.
And then, so all I'm gonna do is this, I'm gonna go,
Oh, that's right. It's a thing showing.
oh, Marion, you almost had it. Linda.
Thank you.
So this is yours. See, so now you have to finish it.
I know.
No.
Go
It's
for
me.
this. It's not for
I'm the one
me.
walking around, it's my responsibility to make sure I don't tip over.
Okay.
There you go.
Ah, he's cute. Thank you. So you said you got these at
Off Etsy.
Etsy.
Yeah, I just,
Would they have had them, say, at Hobby Lobby or somewhere?
I couldn't find
You couldn't
anything,
find it.
because those are actually stone.
Yeah.
And
What
so,
they had was probably plastic or-
and the challenge is finding the right size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I needed it to fit in that center. And so it was kind of, my particular painted piece was like 20 millimeters by 20, and because everything was in millimeters, so I had to convert, from, I was this many inches. So I had to convert it.
Well, thank
And then I just did a search on Etsy for 20 by 20 millimeter, pink cabochon. Some came in plastic, some came, there's all sorts.
Yeah.
And I said square, because I needed a square.
you.
And,
It's a perfect color.
yeah.
Oh, it is perfect. Look at that.
So yeah, I ordered two because I wasn't sure which one I'd like better and went with the other one. Huh?
My yearly budget last week.
Oh, no, that's what I told you every single time I come in here, I'm like, you're supposed to tell me to stop spending. Because I can't. I hit my years. I get my yearly budget like in August.
I bought the Toy Story and
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, so you just did about 9 months, so. I haven't even looked at it. I feel great. I saw what I spent in your store and I still bought some.
so my goal is to get it done by the time it is ready for them to wholesale it. Like they don't sell it wholesale right now, they just sell it through their store. And so my goal is to have it done by January to get to the finisher, so by September it can be here in the store when I can buy.
You can buy them and then market them. Great. Just what I need.
Opportunity.
Thanks. Beautiful.
I'm sure
You
it's
know
going to
whose
be.
Papa's is Andrea's and Kristen's. I can blame it all on them.
All right, ladies, Oh.
It is beautiful.
start tying off because we're gonna move to the next stitch.
What was it, Julie that's coming here in February? She said, "Oh, my kids, I need to move to where it's a south." I can watch her move there. She's like, "I'm just going to-" I like Julie. Okay, so you said tie off, I'm just gonna put it in here.
Yeah. Because we're just gonna move down to the wide pink areas on his hat band.
Perfect.
And you will, just as you get to that point, we're gonna use the pink neon raised ribbon. Ta-da!
Right.
Oil Road.
Right stitch. Use rainbow gallery.
It should be a pink before you.
Just this.
That's probably on the back side of the other one. There it is.
Light pink area with hot nails, that is.
Yes.
Light pink area with hot nails. Rainbow gallery.
So it'll be this neon rays. We're calling it mauve. I'm calling it pink.
Okay.
And if you have not worked, has everybody worked with neon rays ribbon before?
Mhm.
Has anybody not worked with neon rays ribbon? You've not worked with ribbon. Okay. All right. So it's not like ribbon for flower working. This is just a flat thread. This is where a lane tool comes in very handy because you don't want that ribbon to just be twisting or it's going to not look right. Some folks, and I don't have one here, I noticed you do, Cindy, use a flat
What?
line, very low.
Oh, you saw that? Whoops.
No, it's fine. To kind of take the kink out of it, but as you're doing your tension, I never had a kink show up because should be doing a good tension. All right, so I'm gonna read this because there's a reason, I want to make sure everybody starts in this area.
Okay, do we use shorter? or-
I do a little long, that's decent,
Okay.
because we are gonna be tying off between each area. Or no, excuse me, we don't have to tie up between each area, but, all right, so. This is called the woven stitch, which to me really looks like a basket weave, but because basket weave was already taken by how you do the continental tent stitch a different way, this is called the woven stitch, and that's what it's just generally called. All right, so we are going to start in a specific spot on this canvas. We're going to start, get my paper. And again, this was to keep compensation to a minimum, all right? All right. We're going to light pink area directly above his left eye. So.
Oh, okay, in the middle.
So it's generally this one right there.
Okay.
It tends to be the more square one. So we're going to start for you right over here. Okay, so don't start anything yet, but that's the block we're going to start. Perfect. And I didn't hit your stand. Perfect. You're going to start right there. Okay, that's the block. Yep. Right there. Right. Okay. Okay. So when we do this, because of the directionality of the woven stitch, we are going to start from left to right. Right, and lefties can't help it.
Left to right. Okay.
And bottom to top. Okay. It's like doing a really weird offset cross stitch in a way. Okay. So when and if you want me to demonstrate this, it's a 10 stitch with a hole in the center of it. All right. So you're going to start. That's the pink. We're going to drop down to that third one below. Third hole. Yeah. No, excuse me, second hole. Second hole. Yeah, it is a circle, so that's perfect. Okay. But I want you to come over to this one, right on the edge of that dark pink.
This makes more sense to start.
Right. All right. So let's start. I'm kind of getting everybody started. So give me a second to get around to it. Right. And then you're gonna go diagonal. So see how this goes. Choo choo. Yeah, makes sense. Right there. It's hard. If you find that it's twisting, take another needle. And as you go down, just hold it underneath it and help it lay flat, okay? If you find that it twists, all right, so pull, snug. All right, and you're gonna go all the way across, but you're gonna have, notice there's a empty hole here, and then you're gonna start in the next one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's basically directly below this. And do that all the way across, and I'll be back in a second to show you the other half. You need to start right here and all, oh, you are there, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
But you
okay.
need to come down to the third hole,
Third
because
hole.
that's just a 10 stitch, we need it to be longer.
Oh, I got you. You know, I ran into this when I was trying to do this the other night and I did the same darn thing.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an elongated tent is what, it's like the middle of a mosaic.
It's the same thing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So are you going into that dark pink at all, or are you
Yeah.
just?
Okay, one down, one more.
My first
Yes.
is not in the dark.
It needs to be in the dark pink, so you have to
Oh,
start
it
at the
does.
top.
Says we have to start at the top.
Okay.
Or flip it. That still would be at the top, wouldn't it? for you?
I could do like 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do that.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that's mine, 6-1. Okay, so in that case, if we came down. So for you, we're gonna say here, 1, 2, 3, which would mean right there. Yes, perfect, and then come to there.
Okay.
All right. How do you want to do yours?
Well, let me see what you. I'm gonna do. Instead, I'm gonna do.
So I'm left-handed
2,
too,
1.
but I can do
Right.
it instead of 1, 2, otherwise it would be here, wouldn't it?
So that feels better to me. I don't want it's not. 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then go straight across and
So that would
Do
be
the straight this way,
yeah,
and then go back.
because the piece, when you go here, you're just dropping down there, here.
Oh, so then we see.
okay.
So you skip a hole. Skip a hole.
It's like an elongated tent. or- So here,
This
yeah, so this would be the first hole, second hole.
Oh,
third
okay.
hole, Start there.
Yeah, I got all those.
And y'all don't tie this off, you just keep the ribbon underneath you? When you do
I
it?
tie mine off.
I was gonna say with a
Yeah,
ribbon,
the
it'd be
ribbon is
hard
very
not to.
slippery.
Yeah.
And then you're going diagonal from here to right there.
And then goes the whole off the one.
And then drop straight down to that row and do it again, down, down, down. I'm gonna check on Zoom. Hey Deb.
Hey, I'm
We-
sorry, I had to work.
Oh, no,
on it.
you're good. You're good. We're just getting ready. We're just now starting the large pink areas on his hat. And we're using the neon rays.
So when you do the woven stitch across,
Mm-hmm.
do you follow it? Is it each section you do separately? So it doesn't matter if it lines up across?
So I do each section separately, but then when I get ready to start the next one, I make sure that whatever that one's going this way is on that same row.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's because it's only a couple stitches over. I just,
I get
Didn't-
you.
all right, so when you start, I was telling them, you're gonna start on that block that's directly above his left eye,
Yep,
very top left. So you're gonna go up into the dark pink, right? Because you're not gonna have a space of sort of pink showing.
Yep.
And then come down 3 and then start going that way
okay,
and holler at me if it's harder to kind of point at it this way.
yep. Thank you.
Okay. So we needed to.
This is where she would have used this low iron to make this ribbon not
No, that's
the
fine.
kink. That'd be
But I
kinks.
would. Yeah, correct. Okay, so far so good.
Okay.
This alongside of, it started out as Giving Tuesday, then it went to Telethon Tuesday, which we still have, but now it's Pay It Forward Friday. Your call me.
It's okay.
Okay, so what you have to do.
No, you're good. Sorry, it's just the lighting, so
Okay.
don't panic. And I don't have magnification, so I'm trying to just buy it. Perfect.
Okay, now what did you say about going to the next area? We do need to line it up. We do need to make sure we're on the same
Yeah, so
level.
I did everything here,
Uh-huh.
and then I went up to the next one. And I just carried it up, and I was like, okay. Work my down and carry it up. So when you go up to the next one, just know that the leg that's going this way
Uh-huh.
needs to be on this row, and it's gonna be a little compensation. So if you want,
Okay,
drop down and do that one.
I see. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
I'm all about making things as not safe.
You mentioned compensation. Should I drop it here then rather than getting it up into that darker pink?
Yeah,
Okay, I think that makes.
yes.
Okay,
Wait, we need to be up here.
I can do that. I can do that.
Yes, so.
So you wouldn't want me to start.
Let's see that.
Oh,
So
I'm
here,
Uh-huh.
this is where our starting holes,
Yeah.
1, 2, so it's,
Gotcha.
yeah, so
Some
here
have
to
3
here.
are green.
That's okay. Yeah, I was going 1, 2, 3, not, and then 1, 2, yes. Here, yeah, so it's, you're just a row down.
So is this is the correct next row,
Yes, because you go down and over, and then you're gonna go right in the middle of that one.
right here?
You're gonna go, so if you went here, and then kind of like that other one, you're.
Oh, up
underneath it,
there.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
looks like it's woven into each other.
Go across. Can I come back across this top?
No, because it's, there's not enough.
Okay.
Okay. Not you, you have to wait for this summer because I do not see the tag. Okay, I can't see those comments. So anyway.
Does this feel easier than the alternating oblong cross?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, thank you. I think I don't need to pull this one out.
Perfect, you got it. Thank you.
You know, it's,
At 8.3, 8.2, 8.8. They are sold out, provided everybody can. I understand the assignment. Somebody's at.
Yes. And I think this stitch is really pretty. Very, because it's just,
Very cute.
it looks really intricate. But it doesn't feel like it's complicated.
so Susie, the last stitch, well, it would drop into pink, so I probably shouldn't just here.
Yeah, maybe do a little compensation.
Like right, so like, it would be, so it would be
Yeah, I just go into that one.
this one here.
Or where-
It's gonna be several boxes next year, but you can buy them one at a time. And the first box is going up for January, and then the next box will go out on Thursday, and then the box after that will go out.
It's been a year. How do I handle this?
Actually, maybe it's fine, because it goes right here, right?
No. Yeah, occasionally I had to kind of angle all over. Or I just, yeah. Let's see. And if you don't like it, just make it a little 10 stitch. It's
Right.
not completely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna finish that up.
You doing okay, Ann?
I think so. Okay.
Now, if you just think about when you go swing through, you're gonna take that and you're gonna You know, how when you were doing, originally you're going here and then down. Okay, so when you were doing the original, you went here, I dropped down. So now let's pretend we did this and we're gonna drop down. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Wonder if it's easier to do the dark one first. And then you can have the light pink going behind it.
What I didn't want to have happen to
Or-
it is I wanted the dark pink to pull the ribbon in a little tighter around there. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay, so I see what you mean.
If I had done the darker first, I would have been kind of pulling that back out.
Yep, I see.
Yeah. We'll do this for about, let's see here. We'll do this for about another 10, 15 minutes.
Back on the check, but you strand that dark brown too. Pull that all
Yes.
apart just like you did.
Yep, anything that's stranded, silk, cotton, stranded. It's something that happens naturally in cross stitch generally. Because you have to get them off of that skein. You aren't using so many strands. And even then they can roll a lot where they get, twisted on each other. But it tends to be so small and tiny, you don't notice as much unless you're the judge at a fair and you're taking the magnifying glass, which is what you do.
They do?
Yeah, I helped judge the Coastal Carolina Fair for 2 years, a couple years back up in Charleston. And yeah, you're given a magnifying glass and you're supposed to be looking for twisted threads and are things laying flat? Did they miss any stitches? And yeah, otherwise
No,
at the
thank you.
50,000 foot view, it all looks fine, right?
Right.
So how do you differentiate between pieces if you're not looking for that level of defect or decare? Yeah.
I do a tremendous boo-boo. I go, I'm not submitting this anywhere.
Yeah.
So I just know I'm not gonna submit it. This is for fun.
Yeah.
So I just go, moving on.
Well, even, and here's what was funny is, one of the judges for because it's the EGA up there that does it, she was like national president of the EGA and she lives up in Columbia. So she came down to help and she's got her, it's not a master's, but it's she's taken all this technique school and she's, certified to do all this stuff. And she's very good. And I'm kind of like you, Pam. I'm like, you know what? I'm not working that hard on this. I want to do this for fun. Because I use a magnifier, a big one, right? It's like the big daylight one. I can kind of see when things are going south anyway, and I can sort of get ahead of it. But I'm not going to take that amount of time with the lane tool. I do it with finger point, but for me, I want people to see what's possible. So I'll enter pieces I know aren't perfect. And I don't care if there's a ribbon. I'm not doing it to get the ribbon. If it gets something, fantastic, that's fine. But I want other people who've never done this before to go, oh, that's cool. I'd like to learn that. And so,
You give people ideas.
yes,
Have you ever been to that show up at Woodlawn?
I have not.
Plantation? I used to live down the street from it, so I went every year. And I think this is
Doing
the
okay?
year I need to go back to see it. I don't know if any of you would ever be in the DC area or Northern Virginia in March, but it's a fabulous show.
I've heard a lot of good things about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's just so much needlework to see.
Hey. Yeah, you can just take that with you. I think. All right, Zoomy ladies, how we doing?
Huh? Oh, good.
Good.
Yeah.
Giving their opinion. I want up on a lap, one of the two.
Oh, is that my dogs? Oh, I'll put on mute.
Okay.
Or enjoyed it.
It's
Not mine.
supper time for them is
I don't
one,
have dogs.
so they're starting to get. worked up,
Oh,
so I'll
cute.
move.
I want you to pay attention.
So when you get, whether you decide to work, finish off the right, because we start in the middle of his band, right, of his hat. So as you complete sections, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna do all the sections to the left or to the right, it doesn't matter. Then just go back and start from that center and work your way back the other way. So you make sure you've got the pattern correct.
Places like this,
Mhm.
just leave it and come back and do a.
So the one that would go right there, I do a little compensation stitch from here to here. It's just gonna be a little 10 stitch.
Just go from here to here. Yeah. Here to here.
Grab a little stick here. Where did I leave it? It'll tell me if I lay it down and don't have it. The lane tool. Oh, there it is. Because I just grabbed one from the counter.
Oh.
So here to here. This is the spot that you were talking about, right?
Oh, so, yeah, well, yes.
Yeah, because you're going this way. So yeah, you need to have something to cover that up. So just do a little 10 stitch. If you're going down there, just go back another row and come back up and catch it. Otherwise, you can pull that out and then go from here to there.
Okay.
And again, those little tiny ribbon compensation pieces are going to be so small, and you've got so much going on. That's not catching anybody's eye, is not being that exact piece.
All right, I'm lost.
Okay, I'm coming. And I didn't step on it, Pam.
All right. Okay, I'm going back,
Okay.
and I tried to do it there, but that's not right. I'm gonna take it off so you can see it better.
Miss to have a birthday party and needle function right here. That's what it is.
Awesome.
You went one too many
One
over.
too
Yeah.
many.
I have never done that.
Yep. Yeah, you skip 2 holes instead of 1.
One,
That's all.
so just one, okay.
See?
Like this is not lining up right.
This is where you.
It's Thomas's
Yes.
next door. Next door across the way.
Yeah, because otherwise you don't get that nice flat sheen to it.
Oh, where am I here now?
So if you were there, I would take this and just go right there.
So when I go here. Yes.
And you.
Oh, so I should
my
have done
door
that originally.
here,
No, you're
and
fine.
then
Oh, I see, when I come back, are you
It
saying
takes
that?
time.
So, because this is your rose going this way, right? So if you had done it, if you could keep going, you'd go and skip, I could be clear
Yes,
to there.
I
So
see,
all
so
I would do is I would go from here to there.
which one? Oh, I see here, because that's where it was. I
So-
got you.
One of the things somebody told me
Yeah.
one time is
All
take
the
the
same
stitch and place it people,
Oh,
you skip
that-
over it, and that's what the pattern will be if you have to
Okay.
compensate.
Got it.
So yeah, pretend you're still going there and then go, okay, well now yeah.
Okay, I see. So that'll be the same thing with this one right here. Because it would be in here. Or so. It would normally be here. Should I keep it up there? Just go back?
Or you're going back this way.
Yes, I'm going back.
Okay. I will.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're gonna go, would have gone
Here.
here, yeah,
Here.
so I would do this to that.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
It just dawned on me that for the folks who are taking the recording, they need a little bit of a demo. Probably should have demoed the other stitch too. Let's see, so we did. So I can go back and do that now. Ladies, I'm gonna swap this over to that camera view. I'm gonna just back up and do a quick demo of the other couple stitches we've done because it didn't dawn on me. That would probably be helpful for people who are taking the class later. While y'all are doing that. And make sure it's actually on here. Do that. This one makes sense to me. Okay, this is the demo of the alternating oblong cross for those who are taking this later. Hold on, sorry guys. What happened?
I said, oh dear, ribbon, lay down.
Oh. Okay, alternating oblong cross.
You keeping your ribbons nice and straight. Look how good you do. Why does everybody get it like so long? No. It's my over.
1, 2, 3. Over.
Nice, kind of, yeah. Kind of keep
Skip a
the band
space.
tight, smooth out. Yeah.
1,
Keep it
2,
tight
3
so it's
over.
slippery. Right. Like when you pull it, after you pull it up here.
Skip a
smooth
space.
it out. I see.
1, 2, 3 over.
Do you have a lane? Yes, and I'm using it.
Back the other way.
Not sometimes I wish I had a lane. For the most part.
Empty hole.
These and-
Empty hole. Come down to the next one. Use this bottom leg here as a reference point. Here. 1, 2, 3 over. It slips inside. Doing okay, Linda? Yeah. All right. I know when my husband sighs like that, there's a problem. I'm like, what's wrong?
I just finding myself to sit up straight on that.
Yes.
Hard to remember to do that.
Yeah.
Finally
Some
tried
of
out
the
my map
ribbons
the other
need to
day.
be
All right.
black. Oh, yeah.
It's woven stitch. I like the way the neon rays kind of sparkles back at you.
Good. I thought I'd lost y'all. You were gonna like kill me with the alternating oblong cross. So if you were gonna choose a different stitch for that top part of the hat, what would you do?
Top part of the hat.
Mm-hmm, for the oblong.
To make it look knitted.
Or, I mean, it doesn't have to look knitted, it could be anything.
I'd probably break it down and make a basket weave.
We decide to.
Basket weave.
Oh. Well, something more interesting than that.
Well, I'd get frustrated.
Yeah.
I'd do my fault.
There's nothing, nothing beats it really.
That's the way.
I don't think bricks stick would work.
I like brick stitch. These alternate. Kind of go up and down.
Yeah.
Double alternate when you like put
Oh,
two.
right.
Yeah, that might work.
Yeah.
You might do that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, I'm gonna take it as a challenge to do this.
And the beauty is, because we're not doing a huge area, if you're like, I really don't like doing this, just take it out when you get home and do something else.
Well, it does look pretty neat though, the way the stitch lays in.
Can,
Yeah, I'm just resting my back.
okay.
I couldn't figure out what was wrong till they started talking. I was like, oh, that's what the bother.
Okay, so that is the oblong cross
Yes,
with the X in the middle. That's fine. All right, now for the woven stitch.
No, you're doing good.
Going to go
You're doing really
here,
well.
skip and down.
You might want a lane tool.
Straight down.
Could you put a French knot instead of the little cross stitch in
Yeah,
between that oblong?
Beads
It's
or
hard.
whatever you want. All right. How are you doing, Mary?
Looks good. Nice lunch, thank you.
It was all Sharon this time. I did nothing. She told me to run away and don't get
Let her
anything.
do that.
So, which is nice. I don't need to get that.
Yep, there's one more. Well, you're catching yourself, Pam, so it's
Yeah, that's step one.
I can't imagine trying to follow all these directions. Zipping right along.
I'm just making sure I get them lined up.
Yes.
I think this means I'm gonna have to do little bows.
There's gonna be 2 stitch guides,
Oh.
one with no ribbon, one with ribbon. So, but I'm only doing the ribbon ones.
I knew that. I knew that.
Yes, it's just the,
Be careful.
the laying tool, like I
It's a
have
nice
to spray
frame,
on
but-
it twice, and I'm still,
Looking good, Anne.
maybe,
It's slow going.
It's okay.
Sometimes it wants to follow some of the
Rome wasn't built in a day.
like, kind of twist, that might be the problem. There you go.
This one's quick,
Yes.
but you're different, so don't worry about it. How you ladies doing?
All good.
Oh my God, she's almost done with the hat.
It should go there, but the lawn is.
So Cindy, you're gonna have this done by tomorrow or something?
She's on mute, Cindy, on
Oh.
mute from the dogs.
Oh, okay. Looking good, Cindy. Cindy's hat is almost done.
Forgot I was muted because of dogs. Now I have to go for a mammogram later, so I probably won't finish it right now. But it's coming along. I really love it.
I know.
It's fun to work it up.
It is.
Here, quiet.
Are you coming down to visit anytime, Deb?
Okay.
I'm trying, I told my husband we have to figure out when so we can go golf and I want to come in.
Okay. Oh, hi, Deb.
Hi, how you doing, Ashley?
Wondering where just gaffing was today. on the-
I'm here.
Just like Linda Deer wasn't on it either.
I was missing.
Well, Maggie was missing too.
I know.
Pam watches them after, Ann's usually on there.
I can
That's-
find how I was
Pam
in
watches,
there.
Cindy's usually on there.
You know what time I was in here and then Michelle goes, hi Maggie, I'm like, I'm not in here.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
They have too much fun.
They do.
Oh, not today. I'm crabby.
Oh.
Oh, come on.
She explains it in the video if you watch.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, beach mountains all good.
Yeah, like, who's
Okay.
that? I don't know.
I'll be better.
Needs to
Bad
go
one,
away
sounding
sometime.
order.
Nobody knows. I think I had that name before people used their names.
Probably.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, now how do you switch it back? Can you? You
Yes,
see
you
your name or you start a whole new account?
Three.
I wouldn't do that, because then I'm gonna have a new name.
Then you have to
Unless
figure
it's
it out.
Maggie
Unless it's
or
my
Oh,
Maggie.
I
name.
don't need to know of that.
And I know you're so worried about me being able to tell you, I know, calling you out on Instagram.
Please, yeah, I'm so famous. There's some things that you might know who I
Exactly. We're like, oh, nope, that doesn't right.
Mhm.
No, we are all just fine.
Don't feel bad. I pulled mine out twice. On my first go around.
It's harder to keep these little compensating ones. smooth.
Look, makes sense.
Smarting, how to say it.
Let me get the broccoli and check. But you can. Mm-hmm. I can. We did have a meeting. Look at your sweet side. They are, yeah. They don't fit like it's like. Yeah. So you have.
Okay, that should be caught up. All right, guys.
Better now. It's starting to go back, going backwards. stuff. Kind of like, I think about it in the middle.
This is
Yeah.
an okay compensation.
And then back
because
up
I'm
one.
Trying not to go and give it dark.
Over the triangle, and sort of these compensations are looking and say, oh, they get, like, you know, cookie.
Okay. So, and you're welcome to keep doing this because the narrow pink, right, which is gonna be the silk, the dark vineyard silk. All right. So the next area we would work on is the dark pink silk, which is this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this would be the dark pink silk, right? That goes in.
Wait, would we normally finish all this? like-
Normally you would finish all like first, but and you don't have to stop. I'm gonna give
Okay.
you the option what you want to do here because this would be, this is that dark pink bands, right? Okay. Here's what I learned and here's what I'd rather you not do the same as I because it didn't work well. It didn't. I was trying to do kind of a modified Calum stitch, which is this knitted stitch, okay? And so if you look on the other side, the next page, where you're looking at this, okay? It says, okay, start at the bottom and you're gonna do these little tensions just straight up, and then you come and you do the other side going down, okay? Because that's what gives it, that's how it kind of pulls it in the center of that, doing that directionality, not, gives it this pull, like a knit stitch would have. The challenge is, and I really didn't see it until after I got done with it, because it's not a straight line, it's all this wonkiness going on. I didn't think it looked that good. I was like, this doesn't really show up like I want it to be, this Calum stitch. So here's what I would recommend. I would recommend, because it will give the same effect, is that you do a tent stitch in each, just the same directionality. So let's just say you're going to go, and I'm going to pick yours up if you don't mind, man. Where did I place that? Daggone, there it is. That will kill me if I lose this. What I would do is and wherever you start, I'm just going to pick an open area and I'll show you in a second, ladies. I would say, okay, I'm going to do a right hand. It's going to go to the right and right, all the way down. Okay. The whole section, a right-handed thing. The next one, change reverse directionality and go two, and then and then so you still get this kind of this directionality going on, but you're not trying to cram it in that itty bitty space and it just looked weird. To me, it just looks weird. If you're like, no, I like how that looks, go for it. But I felt like it really got, and I'll bring the picture around so you can see. Let me show them real fast.
Doing a stitch to the right first, and then a 10 stitch to the left.
Nope, no, sort of yes, no. So I would make this whole thing, these however many it is, all right tenths.
Oh,
Then make that one all left tenths, and that's all right tenths.
okay.
Because what this
I would be
section,
doing it this way one time, but I would automatically go that way. the
yeah,
next
either
time.
way,
Okay.
yeah. So instead of in
Gotcha.
one section, you're going down, 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 doing it.
Yes, okay. so
That made it
this
really
would be
cramped.
So I'm just
One section.
Yeah,
doing
one section.
two rows
The
and
next
across
row,
2 rows.
that
So
way.
that seems to look like what it is.
Yeah, I would go row by row. So right. Left, and if you want to start left, it doesn't.
Okay.
Left.
Opposite direction
Yeah.
from what you do.
Yeah, that makes sense, Marion. Yeah, okay, Linda. Okay. Let me tell the ladies here what I'm talking about doing. So on his dark bands, the way I originally did it was I was going this way, and then in the middle, right? You can see the diagram. It didn't work well. And so I'm trying to do this backwards. This is weird.
Oh, you work on multiple of the sons.
All right, just gonna do my fingers. All right, so I would take one section
Whole section.
Get all the section, all the same directionality of tent stitch.
Where I get through that.
So for instance, it's all going to the right, the whole thing. And
Or,
then
I mean, even if it's a couple rows.
Yeah, just the same, the whole thing is the right angled tent stitch. And then the next section,
Reverse it.
go the other way. Yeah, reverse it. So you get this kind of this woven look, but it's by section versus within the section. Does that make sense, Deb?
Mhm.
So I'm going to draw it on the diagram. Hold on.
Okay.
So you see how it is right now, right?
Mhm.
That's all in one section. So let's pretend.
Doing a lot now. So when I get my home,
That's you. It's your time.
it's my time. So sometimes it takes me a while to get something finished because I do that. And I will take something and stay in the closet for months. But when I finish
Actually, I'm gonna do it
something,
this
I
way.
feel so good.
Do that.
Sometimes it's like,
Go.
it's like 3 things like a week apart. You get that. So
I just
I
went,
did, yeah.
I just went on a quilting retreat and I took my needle point. And I have random canvas I wanted to do, and I said, no, I want to finish these other ones. So I took 2 little ones and I finished them both. Yeah.
All right, I don't know how this is going to show up. Let's pretend. I really despise this.
Yeah, so the whole section.
This whole
Yeah.
section doesn't exist, okay? Let's pretend this is a section over here. And we're gonna do all of them the same direction in that one whole little dark pink section. Move to the next dark pink section and reverse the direction and go all of them the other way. And keep reversing that.
So like
By-
a stripe, like each stripe.
Yes, yes. So you're not changing direction within a section at all. It's the same, it's consistent the entire time. Because what happened was, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look, it got
Navigator. Yeah.
it got wonky in there as I was trying to make it change direction in the section. And so it just didn't look nice. It's okay,
Not what you think.
but it was disruptive to the eye, I felt.
I always get the, I've driven how many years and when I'm by myself, I don't need direction. Yeah.
But you can absolutely do what I originally did, but I just don't feel like it was a good end result.
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
I just think God has given me a little bit of time. Yeah.
You just make sure you tell me.
So I'm gonna switch the camera again so I can demonstrate the stitch, because I hadn't thought about that a second ago for anybody who's not here. All right,
I'll have
so
to do that. The children.
each section
Yeah, me neither, but he had some.
for the dark pink part of his hat
Yes.
would be
And you know, my family,
the
they have their
same
own issues.
directionality. I'm just gonna do
Yeah,
2
so I
sections
will
of
have to-
Yeah.
2 stitches wide.
No, just a friend gave me the name of somebody to contact.
So this is
Yeah.
there, gray.
And you guys can keep working on that woven stitch, or you can do the tent stitch on his hat band, whatever you prefer. Because what happens is, what's going to end up happening is, if you notice, once the hat band is done, you're going to the scarf. And his scarf is the same technique, but it's the dark pink thread, silk that we would use in the narrow parts is what's now going to be down in his scarf. So there's no more ribbon work in there's no ribbon in the scarf. It's then all just the silk. And so it's that same woven stitch. So you're going to, whatever you're doing up here, you're going to repeat down here. It's just different threads.
Show me that again on the flat canvas.
Yes.
Okay, or your sample.
So when you're done, when you get this, and you're like, okay, I'm doing all the tent stitch. You're then gonna take this. Okay, so that's
Yes.
And then you're gonna do this section, just
Okay.
like that.
Oh,
With
brilliant.
this.
Okay,
And just pay attention to the number of strands. 'Cause
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
a stranded piece.
okay.
And then you're gonna
Okay.
use the Weeks Dye Works, the gray, to do the 10 stitches in here, in here. So, and then the light pink silk is gonna be the same. So these are all the same technique.
Okay.
Okay?
you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
So that's why I say you can keep working on what you'd like to, because we've got about 20 minutes left. So you just want to kind of keep doing this because it's really dependent on whether you can move to another section and keep doing it. What are you going to do?
And this is enough to do all of them,
Oh, yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, because we're on this. Dark pink. This is a silk pearl and you're just using it as it comes off. So actually you don't have to strand it, Maggie.
You
This is a-
don't?
This is a pearl.
Okay.
Because it's that roll stuff. So, oh yeah,
And then it's used right in.
yep. Because the woven stitch isn't using a lot of thread. It's not like you're making a smart across where you're going over and over and over that same little area. You're just making kind of really,
I love this.
it's like you took a
so
cross stitch
pretty.
and moved part of it down and stuck it in the middle, made a sideways T is what the woven stitch really is.
This is a beautiful thread.
Isn't it nice?
Oh, that's beautiful.
We carried the stranded silk at Fire Poppies of Threadworks.
Yeah, I bought.
And they
stuff
were
from
never
the
really
shop.
called for, it's not like they were called for in patterns, but people who like to change things out. They had beautiful overdyes, and I'm a sucker for a good variegated overdye. Though I've learned it's not as easy to use in needlepoint. It depends on the effect, you know, if you want water, then yeah, it's great.
Okay.
But because of, and depending on the stitch you're using.
Against the sand.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're like using a heavily over variegated color on a Smyrna cross, you lose it.
Yeah.
It's just messy at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you really have to decide if I'm going to use this variegated thread,
Maybe better for.
what
larger
stitch am I going to
spaces.
use it for?
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you use it for something small, you may not ever see it.
right.
That's, I will tell you, as a shop owner and as a stitcher, that drove me and still drives me absolutely insane with cross stitch designers. Because, and God bless them, they're trying to support the dyers, and I get it, I do. And they always offer a DMC alternative. But they will go, you need to buy a skein of Gentle Art, marshmallow with this, and it's like 6 stitches. Like I just paid $2.75 for basically an off-white that I'll never see any of this slight brown show up. So, and I've had this discussion with a few of them. I'm like, hey guys, when you think about when you're doing this, the expense you're asking them to buy, and if it's even going to show, especially if it's a little bit here, you may never notice it. But yes, it's kind of like supporting a small business. You're trying to be helpful, but at the same time, it's not being very helpful. All right, so zoomies. Does that make sense when I say, when you're done with the dark pink using the vineyard pearl silk and his top part of his hat, you're going to move down to a scarf, and that becomes the big dark sections of pink in his scarf. It's the same thread, and it's the same woven stitch that we use the neon rays on.
Okay.
For the
But
light,
not the bottom though.
correct, that is the other pink vineyard silk, the lighter pink vineyard silk. That will also be the woven stitch.
It's, I think they.
Oh. Okay.
While I did
I'll
it
show you the
twice,
picture.
don't feel
Oh, but because we'll have to turn the canvas maybe, or no?
I would.
Huh?
All right, hold on, let me get the thing back up here.
Yeah.
Since that one's kind of on the diagonal.
Oh, you mean so it goes to,
I didn't, I just kept going straight, and
Oh.
the stitch itself is a diagonal look anyway.
Oh, so it worked.
It worked, yeah,
Park City?
Yes.
because it's like if you had stitched it as a knitter, it would have been straight when you did it, and then when it lays on somebody's body, it just may not look straight.
So did you change, instead of making it go all the way down in the column, you just went over a stitch, you went over a stitch? To give it a little bit of space, or?
Yeah, I literally
I
just
did
kept
the
doing
same
this.
Never had any influence. Went there with a boy.
Yeah, but I'm saying, did you start it in the
Mhm.
same
Let me see what
hole
I.
below, or did you go over one?
You start your own business. you know,
I said, start the
put
light
yourself
pink
in
area
charge of
located to the
what's
left of the
going
cabochon. So
on.
I started right here,
Never-
so I could get a straight line.
Yeah.
I started right here, so I could get a straight line, that top row.
Yep.
And
I
she
see.
said to her the other day, she said, "All they complained about was
Sorry.
everything costs." I go, well, it costs a lot. more."
I started right there
Okay,
and did that first row and then worked my way down. And this one, I think I just kept going because that was such a narrow little section. I wasn't worried about it. And that way I had all my rows straight.
okay.
My granddaughter is 14 now, living in New York without her family,
Modeling.
going to the ballet.
Ballet.
Oh,
my
gosh.
gosh.
It's tough. And she just
Whoa.
gets on that subway. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, right, Catholic Haven is 20, so I mean, but it's cool, they have an app that tells them how to get anywhere and helps them. I'm sure the ballet or
yeah.
there's plenty of apps that do that.
I'm gonna
So, yeah.
interrupt for just a second. Couple things. So when you go to start this later, and I'll come back and show you too. It says, when you look at stitch the dark pink area of the scarf, which is after this, it tells you what to start. It says start the top left of the dark pink area that is directly below the middle black dot of his mouth. So like I just started right there. And the reason I did that is because that was the straightest, squarest section. And then I could keep the pattern correct. And then I knew where to branch off from there. And if you want to carry over, you can. You can go row by row by row in this because that little stuff is so tiny. These were wider and I didn't want to do that.
The dark pink you're talking about.
Yeah, the dark pink in here, you can just keep going. Versus section by section, totally up to you. When I did the light pink, which is the same pattern, I started on this top row to the left of the highest pink, light pink next to his left of his cabochon. Because again, that was the straightest line I had, and then everything else was based off of that. Make sense? Okay. So I was telling them that for the pink, the dark pink, I started here because that gave me the squarest section to get everything non-compensated and give me a good pattern when I did the dark pink. And then we already talked about how I started that top row of the light pink there. It
Makes
does
sense.
say that in there, but I want you to know that's why I made that choice. Oops. Don't do that. All right, these people who are taking class later are gonna hate me because I didn't demonstrate this. Learning curve, Susan. Okay. All right, so I'm still in the demo. I'm working on.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, let me do two more things over here.
No problem.
The next section would go like this. God bless Zoom teachers who do this, and this is all they do. Okay, let me turn this back. Yes, ma'am, I am coming.
Okay, so this is just a compensating question. So right here, what I mean,
Because by the time you get that fluffy pearl in there,
yeah, it would matter.
it's okay because you're gonna see pink, light pink through this canvas anyway.
So it wouldn't matter.
I would want a big area, but this one, I would just make a little piece right there, yeah.
Okay, and other than that, leave it.
Commencing, because this actually comes in.
That's why I
Goes
wondered,
in there, yep.
so should I go ahead and pull like,
This is one. Right down here, it doesn't come into here. And you could actually drop it down one more, so you don't have to worry about that, and then bring it in.
okay, oh, the next, I see.
Yeah,
the
your
one.
other pink.
So maybe I'll just
actually-
leave this and then I can compensate later.
Yeah, you could make the dark pink just come down in here, since you compensated that point, you really had some light pink there. And then have your light pink go over here, so you have a full stick. Yeah, from here up to there.
Okay, so I could just put one more stitch here, let the pink go,
Mhm.
and then see what, if I have to compensate afterwards. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All right, who else? You got me for 10 more minutes right now, so what you need?
I'm just gonna go back and finish up my little threads. that are
Yeah.
Sticking up every which way.
Yeah. So other than the alternating oblong crosses, a lot to say actually, is there anything that you feel has been a stumbling point? That as I've talked about it, didn't make sense, and I know we really haven't been reading through the directions, but if you wouldn't mind tonight, read through what we've already done. And let me know if something, if you're like, yeah, no, that's not what you said. If really, seriously, that would be very helpful for me. All right, Marion. Good.
I think.
Again, classroom settings, there's pressure and there's.
People
There
know
is.
where the teacher went wrong, so.
Yeah, right.
They do.
That's true, though. When I get home, I think, oh, yes, that's why did it seem so difficult? That happened.
It's-
You know, you just like to take my spot, don't you?
Now, should I not have that stitch go into the white one?
I wouldn't.
Would not.
Yeah, that one right there, I think is fine.
It's okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, because you're gonna come down, it's gonna share, so
Share,
it's
and
gonna
it's-
give a nice line.
okay,
And I think you're compensating that you did it perfect.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny, you get it going and then have it started again. What did I do?
And again, I did section by section because that's what eventually worked for me. If you're like, no, I really want to just keep carrying it across, you can. If you're like, no, that makes this easier for me to keep going on, then ignore what I said and carry it across.
Taking Zoom needlepoint classes, and my husband used to stand out of camera range and dance to make me laugh.
Fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I think that's
I started
so
20.
much better than what I originally did.
You did what? Start
Oh,
doing.
okay.
Zoom
I
up
do.
for
I
needlepoint.
like it. Can I show them?
Sure.
Okay, so Anne started kind of doing the pink, and see how that's all just going the same direction? I think that looks better than,
Oh,
because that, what I was trying to do worked nice for a long straight line, and
Yeah.
it looked jumbled when you got into
Yeah.
the bitty section.
nice and neat too.
So that's where she's doing that in the same direction, and she's gonna reverse it over here. Yeah. That's all it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it does look, it looks
More
neater,
finished,
yeah,
yeah.
good job.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we'll just reverse it, so it just, it makes it more polished.
Okay.
And isn't so your eye's not trying to figure out what's going on. Great. Now I've got to sew the covers in.
You up to 2 p.m., eh? That's
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and I don't know, put my hand behind it, but she has,
see you all
I'm gonna go
tomorrow.
this way. See in the far left of the pink right here?
Yeah.
Dark pink? She's already started to do that, and she's doing that all in one direction in that section. I feel like that looks better.
When you stand away from the pool, it's like you've done pink and red and pink and the glistening of the way, the way the ribbon. That's really pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, the look from her too.
You see it? Isn't that wild?
When we learn how to do the cabochon tomorrow, we're gonna do that in between things, because what the process will essentially end up being is we're gonna take a little piece of fabric. I'll have it pre-cut to match the cabochon size. And we're gonna glue one on the back. It's gonna have to sit and dry for a while. We're gonna glue another piece of fabric on the other side on the top. It's gonna have to sit and dry a while. And then we would glue the cabochon on top. And that has to sit. So I don't want to wait for the end, waiting for this to dry. So we're gonna go, okay, we're gonna stop, and this is what this part of the process is.
Thank you for doing this all in the middle of your move.
Oh, no, you're fine. This has been planned for, a long time to do this, and we were originally not supposed to move until our lease was up in June of next year. It was a 2-year lease on Data. And then the folks who owned it, who live on the island, they were just gonna sell it afterwards. It wasn't like they had to find another tenant.
Oh, here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so some financial opportunities came up for me down there, and the rents were falling dramatically. So his sister called and said, I don't know when your lease is up, but if you could get down here earlier, that would be great. So we,
Is this because of the recent storms? Yeah, that's happened.
I don't know, most of what's down there is seasonal rentals, right?
Yes.
And so there has not been, seasonal rentals have not been doing as well lately. So the folks who are doing seasonal are willing to now start, because they haven't rented yet, are now willing to start looking at long-term rentals.
Well, I was gonna say, there's so many restrictions, in that Marco Arroyo Island, Naples area, as far as the length of.
Yep.
rental. So as an investor, it's harder to, because
Yeah.
you don't get short term.
No, it has to be 30 days or longer.
30 days longer, so that.
There's no Airbnbs for a weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, so really.
yeah. So yeah, we talked to our landlords and said, because we're good friends with them, and said, other than missing us terribly, would you be opposed to selling the house sooner rather than later? And they were like, sure. So in the space of like 2.5 weeks, we tidied up the last bit of things so that could be shown. And then a couple on the island had sold their house, but they wanted to stay on the island. They wanted to downsize. And so they were hoping to find something to rent until they could either build or buy. So we thought this was going to take probably a good 3 or 4 weeks to find something for people to sell the house. And in the space of 3 days, they went, no. If you'll rent it to us, we'll probably buy it later. And then our landlords were like, well, really, we want to see what happens after the election anyway, what's going to affect the market. So they were happy to wait. So that let us out of the lease. The new people have some place to live, so they don't have to rebuy into the initiation fee. And we get to get out earlier. So
That's awesome.
they have to be out of their house by the 21st.
We've had, Colorado is a really weird place. We've had 2 contracts. One dropped in 48 hours. The second one, it was negotiations of the real estate agent, and we told him to blindly. I mean, he was just crazy things that he was asking for at the end.
Yeah.
And we were like, he could have negotiated. We're not even allowing him on our property.
Wow.
Oh, that's how bad
Wow.
it was.
How you doing, lady?
Good.
Haven't seen you.
No,
no.
All right. Any questions, my Zoom friends? No?
I'm good.
So same bat
This has
time
been great.
panel. Oh, look at you. Yep, I like it. I like it. I like it. You're gonna
I
come.
love that. The hat looks good.
I love the hat.
It's
When you-
worth the effort.
Oh, it's not effortless. It was
No,
fun.
the hat looks great.
It was fun.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
And you can certainly hang. It's not gonna like have you not be here.
I gotta go back to work.
Oh.